And welcome back as the checkered flag comes out here for your 206 Masters qualifying. It is Brian Williams on pole position with a 47.999, 47.999. Troy Toney will join him on the outside of row number one in the second position with a 48.096. Matt Geist ends up P3 with a 48.402. Adam Dietz finds himself in P4 with a 48.520. And Michael Schaffer finds himself with a 48.761. Kevin Smolnick was not able to go, or Simon Ellick was not able to go out on track as he has 0 laps recorded. So that is your top 5 rundown here for your 206 Masters. Up next is your KA Senior along with KA Masters. They will find themselves out on track next, as I believe there's still 1 or 2 karts we have to pull off the track, and it looks like engines have fired for your KA 100 Seniors and Masters, as they're about to make their way out on track here shortly. Engines have fired. Announcement has just come out. Track is cleared, and it is all down to the grid marshal of Maxine Coates. She will be the one in charge of sending him out here. And I think we're waiting to go at the exact time that is on the schedule. We are not doing race ready. We're going off of the schedule. So as soon as the clock strikes, I believe it is 7:42, which is now, as we send them on out. This is the highlight event of the afternoon. Your KA 100 Seniors and Masters. 15 karts deep here this afternoon. This is the biggest class that we have in the afternoon session. Looks like the 806 of Augusto Sato Sharapa is the first one to go out here in that Top Kart USA. The 906 of Augusto Sato Sharapa, the first one to go out. And the Top Kart USA entry, Carson Sauter. And the GP Kart Factory Fury USA is the second one to go out. AJ Ludd, another Top Kart USA entry in P3. Hudson Porter finds himself out on track as well. Late Gibbs on the MPG Kart Republic. Goes out in 5th with his teammate Jackson Deal. Another MPG Kart Republic in P6. Blake Findlay, another Top Kart USA entry in P7. Michael Gundoff out in P8 with Cami Pfister, this 9th kart to go out. Casey Perry on a Hardin Motorsports Group chassis finds himself out there, 10th car to go out. Here comes the first flying laps, and it is Carson Sauter going up onto provisional pole. 43.839 is the benchmark to beat. And Augusto Sato Sharapa, not sure if he decided to take it easy the first couple laps, but he finds himself way down the order in 11th with a 45.676. AJ Ludd, P2 right now, the Top Kart USA entry with a 43.961. Jackson D on the MPG Kart Republic right now in that 3rd position. There is your not quite top 3 running order. The man out there in front, Carson Sauter on that Factory Fury GP Kart USA entry, is a provisional pole sitter, and right behind him is P2 right now, Kart 43, Top Kart USA, AJ Ludd in that 2nd position. 2nd kart out on track. Let's see these times. Carson Sauter not able to improve his time, but here comes Augusto Sato Sharapa. Provisional pole for the Top Kart USA entry, 42.840 for Augusto Sato Sharapa. Carson Sauter falls back into 3rd with AJ Ludd moving up to P2, 43.162. So those top 3 out on track are the 3 fastest in qualifying. Jackson Deal not too far back, about 3/10 off of Carson Sauter's time. That 944 MPG Kart Republic finds himself P4. Blake Findlay, Top Kart USA entry, P5 right now, 8/10 back from the provisional time from Augusto Sato Sharapa. Sato Sharapa has a 3/10 cushion right now between himself and AJ Ludd in 2nd. Here comes lap number 3. Let's see it. AJ Ludd for a moment went provisional, but now he's going to settle into P2. Augusto Sato Sharapa, he goes purple and even faster. 42.558 for Augusto Sato Sharapa. AJ Ludd there in P2 with a 42.756. Jackson Deal, he cracks into the top 3. 42.929 for the MPG Kart Republic entry. Carson Sauter, P4 for the Factory Fury GP Kart USA with a 42.932. And Cami Pfister rounds out the top 5, 43.166. On your screen right now, that is Carson Sauter. Kart 19 on that GP out in front on field, currently P4 on the track, and he goes up the order, but so does AJ Ludd. New provisional pole time, 42.426 for AJ Ludd. 1/10 cleared of his teammate, Augusto Sato Sharapa, who is not able to improve their time. Augusto settles into 2nd with that 42.0 5.56. I'm not sure what happened, but last time by, Augusto slowed down to a 46.1, so he was way off the pace, probably trying to get some clean air. Carson Sauter, he improved his time with a 42.650, 2 tenths down on AJ Ludd, 0.092 tenths of a second down of Augusto Sauter-Sharapa. Jackson Deal, P4. Braden Rudder cracks into the top 5. OTK Privateer finds himself P5 with a 43.075. Last time by, AJ Ludd could not improve. Augusto could not improve. Carson could not improve. Jackson Deal did not improve. Lane Gibbs did. He went up the order for a moment, but here comes Braden Johnson to 4th. 42.822 for that young man driving on Amex entry in P4 right now. Braden Rudder, the privateer on the OTK, P6, 42.937. Lane Gibbs, MPG Kart Republic in 7th with a 43.050. And Cammy Pfister, P8, 43.055. Blake Findlay on the top cart, P9. Hudson Porter, another top cart, in 10th. And you're watching on your screen AJ Ludd and Carson Sauter, 1 and 2. Augusto Sauter-Sharapa out of the top hat, 42.324 for Augusto Sauter-Sharapa. He is your new provisional pole sitter. Jackson Deal goes up the order, 42.410. So the top 2 separated by less than a tenth of a second, 0.086. AJ Ludd falls back into P3. Carson Sauter in P4 with the 43.194. His previous lap, 42.650 is his best. So it looks like the times are starting to plateau a little bit. And I think Augusto's method of taking a lap to just let the tires cool down, get yourself in some clean air, and then push your hard is working for him. AJ Ludd just went quicker, so did Carson Sauter, 42.362. But how about that? Augusto Sauter-Sharapa to provisional pole, 42.230. 1 tenth back before we get to Carson Sauter. Jackson Deal with the 43, and Carson Sauter with the 42.384. AJ Ludd finds himself in P4. Checkered flag is out, and that will do it. Augusto Sauter-Sharapa on the top cart USA is your pole sitter, 42.230. Carson Sauter on that GP Factory Fury Kart in P2 with a 42.364. Jackson Deal on the MPG Kart Republic in 3rd, 42.384. AJ Ludd on the Top Kart USA P4 with the 42.397. Braden Johnson rounds out the top 5 under the Amex 10 on the OTK Tony Kart. Finds himself P5 with a 42.716. The spread 1 through 6 is separated by less than half of a second. 1 through 4, less than 2 tenths of a second. This is going to be a close heat and pre-final and feature event. And we have more racing coming to you live. We're going to watch some replays here. There's Carson Sauter. I believe that was AJ Ludd and Augusto Sauter-Sharapa making the way through turns 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to sit back here as we're going to wait a little bit because 3 o'clock is when we go live here for heat races with 206 Sportsman. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here on air. But when we come back, heat races coming to you live here on Kart Chaser. And you're watching from Whiteland Raceway Park.
over at a commercial brick.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep,
gloves,
yep,
rib protectors.
got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
And here we go with heat racing. 2:06 Sportsman set to go green here. 5 minutes plus 2 laps is going to be the distance. Dominic Gaddis sets on pole position. Into the outside, and P2 is Blake Martinez. They will lead them down to receive the green this time by. Let's see if Martinez has anything on the outside jump. We have seen it time and time again where the outside bro somehow can find just a little bit of grip and roll that outside line through turns 1 and be set up perfectly for turns 2. Let's see if it happens again here with this 4-cycle race. Green flag is out, and they're going into turn 1. Looks like a little bit of a jump there from the inside, farther on back. Couldn't quite get a number for you guys, but a beautiful start there from Dominic Gaddis in that MPG Kart Republic. Goes straight up to the front. Kart 257 of Dominic Gaddis is up in front, just behind him. Trying to get a number for you guys. Looks like that is Will Feischniger up into the top there as well. P2 right now, just behind him. Kart number 30 starts trying to get a number for all these kiddos in it up back. Kart 3, that is Martinez. Blake Martinez settles into that 3rd position. And just behind Martinez is Kason Hendrickson, the Kart 202 in that 4th spot. So that is your top 4 as of now. Again, this is all subject to change later on. The 206 Sportsman typically ends up in one pack race all the way through. You usually have your top 4 or 5 who bunch up and put on a fantastic show. The rest of the field breaks up into smaller groups as well. But as of now, that is not the case. The top 4 are spread out all over the field. Dominic Gaddis in the 257 with a commanding lead right now, over a second last time by, and it looks like it's starting to spread out even more. Dominic is canceling the tow right now for the rest of the field behind, and Will is kind of in no man's land right now. Doesn't really have a tow from the front. Blake is not there to quite give him a push just yet. He is on his way, about 4 or 5 car lengths behind, but not getting a whole lot of assistance there. Blake Martinez is getting a little bit of assistance from that draft, probably not a whole lot, and he's not close enough to try to work with Will out in front. Also Kason there in that 4th position, not too far behind. Martinez is trying to see if maybe he can give a push when he can, but he's still trailing by about 2 or 3 car lengths. So I think this might be a little bit stagnant here in the front half of the field, as now 1.5 second lead is what Dominic Gaddis has over the entire field. There's a good onboard video, I should say, when you can see the leader out in front and the rest of the field in tow as well. So they are all getting themselves spread out. Mid-pack starting to bunch up just a little bit, but it looks like the closest battle we can see right now is Kason Hendrickson and Blake Martinez, as Hendrickson trying to find a way around Martinez and maybe even work with him, but it looks like he's trying to waste no time. He's trying to get the over-under set up so he can get around the inside there of Martinez. Just behind Martinez is Dalton Sears, now Titus Roberts. So Titus Roberts on the top cart finds himself in P5, and just behind him, Dalton Sears, we've seen earlier today with that that is the MPG Kart Republic, just behind Titus Roberts as well. So the field getting fairly spaced out. We got 2 minutes, 17 seconds plus 2 laps to go. I have a feeling it's probably somewhere around the minute 45 to minute 30 mark when they make their way across the stripe. They're doing about 50-second laps, so anywhere from 4 or 5, maybe even 6 laps still yet to go here. But how about this for Dominic Gaddis out in front? 1.5 second lead, 2 laps to go, 2.2 second lead now, and I wouldn't be surprised if that stretched out closer to 2.5 or 3 this time by. Let's see it across the stripe. 2.9 seconds is what Dominic Gaddis has over the rest of the field. 48.036 was his fastest time, and to put that into perspective, the closest one to him was Titus Roberts with the 48.259. Will, Blake, and Kaysen are running 48.6s respectively all the way through. So he has about a 1/6 of a second gap per lap over second, third, and fourth placement. So Dominic Gaddis leading from the start after setting on pole position. He might be able to do a picture-perfect weekend, qualifying on pole, winning the heat, and winning the feature. We'll find out if it's possible here soon as we're closing in. 1:20 to go this time by. Somewhere around the 1:10 mark when he makes his way across the line. So probably 4 more laps remain here for your leader of Dominic Gaddis out in front. He goes purple again. The first one to go into the 47s. 47.989. 3.4 seconds Dominic Gaddis has over the rest of the field. A commanding lead right now in dominant fashion as he's making his way towards the backstretch. And that mid-pack slowly starting to bunch up. Blake Martinez right now in the 3rd position is closing on to the... he was able to pull away from Kaysen Hendrickson. Meanwhile, Hendrickson has company because Titus Roberts is slowly closing up to that back bumper right now and is making a 4-kart pack going forward. So that's Will Feistinger that you see out in front there in Kart 10. He is leading that second pack with Martinez just behind him. Kaysen Hendrickson follows, and then Titus Roberts behind as well. So that is a 4-kart train right now. They're not even having a chance to reel in the leaders. Right now, this is a battle of just moving yourself up the order for the for the feature race and hoping you can find something in your chassis, your driving style, your data to figure out how you can make up the commanding lead right now. Almost 4.5 of a second per lap that Dominic Gaddis has over the entire field. 3.79 of a second is how much of a lead he has right now. Time is about to expire, and it has. So we'll be looking at 2 laps to go here this time by for your leader of Dominic Gaddis out in front. Let's see if we can't take a peek here at that second pack, and it looks like Will maybe get about a 2-car length advantage over Blake there in that 3rd position, and Blake's got his hands full because here comes Kaysen Hendrickson. He's all over that back bumper. Does he have it for him? Down here to turn 1, Hendrickson right on the back bumper. He has a peek down low for a moment. Looks like Martinez slightly defended his line into turn 1. And again, that's caused a little bit of separation. There's Titus Roberts on that new gen, he's on a new gen chassis. He's trying to find a way around. He's trying to set up a crossover, but he just doesn't have that assistance he needs from behind to give him an extra push to catch up to that front group. So he is staying in tow right now. 2, 3, 4, 5 is what you're watching on your screen. White flag is about to be out here for your leader, Dominic Gaddis. 4.15 seconds is how much of a lead he had over that second pack the last time by. Do this little scuffle back and forth in this mid-pack. Wouldn't be surprised if it's more. As here goes Titus Roberts around Kaysen Hendrickson. Count him up 1 more position. Titus Roberts goes up into P4. White flag shown this time by to this group. And let's look at it down into turn 1 because I tell you what, Titus Roberts has got a head of steam. He's trying to get around Martinez on the inside. Can't quite get it done there into turn 1. He'll have a chance here into turn 2. Martinez opens up. Robertson tries to take the bait. Doesn't quite go for it. Doesn't look like he's going to set him up here into 3. So have 2 more opportunities going in to this outside hairpin and again to the inside hairpin. White flag was shown that last time by to the entire field. 4.5 seconds is what Dominic Gaddis has over that second pack right now as he makes his way towards the inside hairpin. There's the battle for second on back. Let's see if we can't switch over to your leader, making the way up the hill. Dominic Gaddis in the 257 MPG Kart Republic comes across the stripe and sees a checkered flag. He will start on pole position this afternoon. So that will do it for your heat race here in 206 Sportsman. Up next is going to be your 206 Cadet for their heat race. Again, where they finish here determines the starting spot for the feature this afternoon. Is a little aggressive across the line there in your mid-pack. I think that was in the likes of Cadence Peebles, Lincoln Wiley, Nico Santos, and I think maybe Nolan Wade when they were making their way across the stripe. But anyways, we'll get going here shortly with your 206 Cadet. After that, 206 Medium set to go on track for the 5 minutes plus 2 laps here for your heat races to set the grid for the feature. Green flag is out for 206 Cadet as they are getting set to go here for their heat race. Again, where they finish here determines where they start in the future later on this afternoon. As they continue on, it looks like it is going to be Liette Simonellik out in front. Had a good start there. We had to do that aboard start from the previous time because everyone was out of order, going way too fast. And what our head flagman appreciated or liked going down into turn number 1 is now they're going to go 4 deep into the south side hairpin. So that is Liette out in front. Reagan Hodges in P2 right now, in P3 right now. P2 goes to 31 to Brett Hastings. So Hastings actually gets his elbows out, tries to make a move up the hill. Is going to take the outside line. Is he going to roll it all the way around? Almost. He tucked in right behind Liette Simonellik going down into turn 1. And Hastings, I'll tell you what, he's got ahead of steam. I remember this kid would start off in kid karts. His dad, Derek Hastings, I should say, has been here racing at Whiteland Raceway Park since Andy and Sarah bought the place back in 2018. He's co-founded Ghost Racing Engines with Matt Geist, and I tell you what, ever since his kid was eligible to be in karts, he has had him in a seat almost every week and every weekend, and he went from being about a mid-packer there in kid karts to battling up front now for your 206 Cadet. So Brett Hastings, recognition where it's due. He is very aggressive right now in the best ways possible, and he is battling up in the front field with some of the drivers that are probably the best that we have here at Whiteland Raceway Park in the cadet categories. They make their way up the hill. We're looking at under 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the board now. And as Liette Simonellik still out in front. P2 of Brett Hastings fell back just a little bit, but Brett is holding off Reagan Hodges in that 3rd position. Patrick McNeely in P4. He is up in that mix, kind of off the scene just a little bit, about 4 or 5 kart lengths behind. And then you get back in the likes of Enzo Seiner, Christopher Heinzen, and Ryan Wheeler in 5th, 6th, and 7th respectively, but they are a little bit farther off the pace in the front group. But I'll tell you right now, it looks like Liette out in front right now. Last time by was about a half a second advantage, and it looks like Brett Hastings and Reagan Hodges have been battling back and forth there for that 2nd position. They're starting to slowly close back up, and an issue out in front. Liette Simonellik come to a stop. He had his hand in the air, and that is unfortunate end for his heat race. He's going to have to start in the back of the field for the feature and work his way up. As here's the battle out in front. They were Reagan Hodges on the inside of Brett Hastings. She realized the implications of the situation, said, you know what, we're not going for the heat win. I'm trying to go 2 for 2 for my classes for the day. I'd love nothing more than to start in pole position. And Brett Hastings, credit where it's due. He was throwing some over-unders that we see from the senior category, trying to just take any attempt to get to the front and hold off the charge there from Reagan Hodges, who is now your new leader into the south side hairpin. Brett Hastings back by about a half a kart length, maybe even 2 on the eggs of the south side, coming up the hill now to the inner hairpin. He's down about 3 or 4 kart lengths on Reagan Hodges, making their way up the hill. Looking at about under 2 minutes to go, about 1 minute and 50 when they cross the stripe, plus 2 laps. And Brett Hastings still right there in the toe of your leader right there, kart 33. Reagan Hodges out in front into turn 1. And she's opened up a little bit of a lead over Brett. Roughly about a half a second is what she has over Brett Hastings. Patrick McNeely inherited that 3rd spot due to the unfortunate events there with Liette Simonellik. Finds himself in P3. Will start inside of row number 2 if they finish just how they do. 1 minute and 17 seconds remain now, plus 2 laps. Somewhere in the likes of about 45 to 50 seconds is how much is going to remain when they cross the stripe this next time by. So roughly 4 laps to go here in general, 4 or 5 laps to go in total before we see the checkered flag here for the 206 cadet class right now. So up the hill they go. They're going to put 1 more lap in the book. Right at 49 to 50 seconds will make the way across the line. Reagan Hodges opening up the lead, has opened up 2/10 in the last 3 laps over Brett Hastings. 49.909. Reagan Hodges is now purple and the fastest kart on track. Brett Hastings the closest one to her right now with a 50.113. And again, he's losing just a little bit of time, about 2/10 per lap is how much he's losing to Reagan Hodges, who's your leader now going through the crossover, heading into the south side hairpin. 22 seconds on the clock now, so look for the time to expire when they make their way across the start-finish straight. So double sticks might be in the air if they run out of time before it's too late, and they got about 10 seconds now. I think time will expire By the time they get towards the top of the hill, it's all down to our flagman. He's got double six in the air, and it will. Clock expires now. So 2 laps to go here for Reagan Hodges to see if she can try to go 2 for 2 for both of her features here this afternoon. She won the feature earlier today here in your micro class, and now she's trying to win again in the 206 cadet in the afternoon. Got about another lap and a half in order to start on pole position, which will definitely help her prospects in trying to make that happen. And how about this for Brett Hastings? If he can hold on to second right now, he will start on the front row on the outside of row number 1. Patrick McNeely currently in the 3rd position, set to start on the inside of row number 2 if they finish just how they do, as they make their way to the south side hairpin for the second to final time, up the little bit of a crest of a hill before they make their way back into the inside hairpin, up to the final 2 corners. And let's see it. Reagan Hodges, white flag in the air. Let's see if she can try to get a heat win, or feature win and a heat win here this afternoon down into turn number 1. Hastings trailing by about 1.1 second off pace of Reagan right now. He's in the field of view. He can see her in sight, but is not close enough to make a move. Again, he's still losing about 0.2 per lap. As Reagan Hodges, that last time by, she went purple. 49.570 for Reagan. So she is turning fast lap after fast lap. Her fastest lap so far is roughly about 0.6 faster than Liette Simonelix before he unfortunately had to come off again. He only got 2 laps, so he probably would have gone quicker. But still, this will be an interesting battle to see what will happen here this afternoon with Liette trying to go through the field and Reagan and Brett starting on the front row. Checkered flag is coming out now. Looks like there's 1 lapper in front of Reagan Hodges, but she can back it off now and be A-OK. The checkered flag is out. Reagan Hodges will start a pole position here this afternoon. Brett Hastings will join her on row number 1 on the outside, starting in the 2nd position. Patrick McNeely will start inside of row number 2 in P3. Enzo Seiner will start outside in P4. Christopher Heinzen finishing in P5. Ryan Wheeler P6. And Liette Simonellic rounds out the field in 7th. So that'll do it for both 206 Cadet and 206 Sportsman. Up on deck and about to go out. 206 Medium set to take the green here shortly. And we are about to go green for your 2:06 medium. Jared Howerton starts on pole position on the inside of run number 1. Eli Fox in P2 to the outside. Green flag is out into turn number 1. These two that sat on the front row worked together all qualifying long, got themselves within half a hundredth of a second with each other, as they are now going to go nose to tail again over into turns number 3 down that back straightaway. As Eli Fox had a look to the inside, Howerton puts his hand in the air and says, how about we hold off on that one? Let's get a little bit of breathing room before we decide to go back and forth with each other, because right now they're just trying to lock in a top 2 starting position here. And again, you got to think of the championship. You get, I believe, a small amount of points from the heat race. If you're trying to go in the long run here, it's best to collect as many as you can early so you can save yourself if you have some unfortunate events or have to miss a race later on in either the summer or the fall. As we continue on, lap number 1 in the books, Howerton leads, Fox P2 just there in the 3rd position. Levi Wilbur in the CW, Burrell Art is there in the 3rd position for the moment, because here comes, I believe that is Evan McCorkadale, and it is Evan McCorkadale in the Burrell Art. Now up into P3. He's getting a little bit of a push now from Levi Wilbur and that CW Burrell Art as well. And just behind those two is Braden Johnson in P5. Although Johnson got a little bit of a gap, probably more than he wants, between himself and the 4th placeman there of Levi Wilbur. And just behind him as well, not too far back, is Gage Justinato, car number 48. He's trailing as well, about 2 car lengths down on your 5th placeman of Braden Johnson. So up the hill they go, and that top 4 bunches back up, coming out of that hairpin, nose to tail, down towards the start-finish straight. 4 minutes to go, actually less than that, 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go, plus 2 laps into turn number 1. They all stay nose to tail, and no one has really stepped out of line too far inside that top 4. If they play it patient here, that will be your top 2 rows locked in, although Braden Johnson in that 5th position, he doesn't really have much help behind him, but he's slowly catching up to the back bumper of Levi Wilbur. As there went McCorkadale with his hand up in the air, pointing forward, saying, hey, I need some help. I want to try to make a move. He looked back and saw that Wilbur was not quite in sight, so I'm not quite sure if they bobbled down there coming out of turn 3 or over into turn 2. But right now, top 3 have now broken away from the rest of the field. Wilbur, though, he is slowly getting reeled in by Braden Johnson there in that 5th position, so those two might be able to link up and push themselves forward. However, you got to keep an eye on car number 8, Braden Hebert, the teammate to Levi Wilbur. He's slowly starting to reel in Johnson as well. So if the 2 teammates on the CW Burrell Arts are able to connect with each other, might be able to maybe make up a little bit of time before they get to that top 3. Again, we're looking at 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So time is not in the friendship there of that 2nd field. Top 3, though, are just trying to take a knee and wait the clock out before they start going back and forth. While I was talking about what was going on in that mid-pack, Eli Fox was able to get around Howerton, so he now goes up to point. P3 is still Evan McCorkadale. I think McCorkadale is just waiting to see if he can maybe get some allies up before he decides to start throwing a couple of attempts for passes there inside the top 3. Down towards the start-finish straight they go. We are 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, 1:50 plus 2 laps down towards the start-finish. Into turn number 1, no swapping for a position stop. Top 3 still nose to tail, and they are all connected like glue right now. Nose to tail, bumper to bumper. Although I say that, announcers curse. Now there's a little bit of about a cart length to a cart length and a half gap between your 2nd placeman of Howerton McCorkadale. However, last time by, McCorkadale went purple, 47.127. Howerton went a 47.197. Fox, your leader, went a 47.179. That is your top 3, almost identical lap times all the way through, and they are a little bit separated now. Your top 2 from McCorkadale, but he closes it back up with that accordion effect on that climb up the hill out of that inside hairpin, now towards the start-finish straight. Fox still leads over Howerton. Last time by, Braden Hebert actually went purple in 6th, so he might be slowly be able to catch up with Levi Wilbur's pack, and it looks like they are all 3 connected now. So that top 3's got to be careful. If they do anything not smart, so to speak, then that 2nd pack could easily close back up to him. However, we got 40 seconds to go, so we might be able to make it back to the line for one more lap before we get 2 to go, but it comes down to the flagman. It's his call if he wants to call it within the last 30 seconds, although we're looking at about 30 seconds now, so it is now in the hands of the flag marshal if he wants to give it one more lap or call it 2 to go. Up the hill, we're at 4 minutes and 40 seconds, so we're at 20. Does he send it now or does he wait? Flagman decides to wait. Adam Burrows did not show it. So 3 laps remain now. They're going to get 2 to go next time by. Down into turn number 1. Fox still out in front. Howerton P2. P3 goes to McCorkadale. Times between the 3 of them? Well, it's very close. 47-1-3. 0. Identical times that last time for Fox and Howerton. What did McCorkadale do? 47 flat. So McCorkadale about a 10th better, probably using that toe to his advantage from the 2 out in front. However, he is still about 2 kart lengths down from the top 2. Closing it back up here in the south side hairpins when they start to accordion back up. Make their way up the hill, slowly start to crest it before you come down to the inner hairpin. And this set of corners is what really caused the accordion. That hairpin followed by the 2 sharp lefts allows you to really close back up if you need just a little bit more as the top 2 run nose to tail. 2 laps to go this time by. Purple lap from Jared Howerton to P2. 46.911. And what does Eli Fox do? 46.912. McCorkadale still about 2/10 off the pace there with the 47 flat, so he is just having to trail right now and hope that Howerton decides to make a move on Fox. I'll then slow him down so he can maybe stir the pot inside the top 3. But as of right now, it is the Fox and Howerton show as they go through the crossover, now through the bank corner. Coming over to the south side, Fox doesn't defend. Howerton doesn't try to take it. Through the south side they go, nose to tail. A little bit of a push there from Howerton to keep Fox back up on pace so it doesn't bog down too much. Into the inner hairpin. No pass was made either, so there's still nose to tail. White flag being shown this time by our flagman, which means 1 more lap to go. McCorkadale, he's in tow, but he's not close enough. He's slowly actually starting to fall out of the tow. 6/10 back he is from the 2 that just went identical times again. 47.017 for both Fox and Howerton. So they are running identical times, just like we saw in qualifying, and they are starting to put the hammer down, trying to pull away from your 3rd placement of McCorkadale. Let's see it now. Does Howerton try to pass him here? Does he wait till the south side? Doesn't have a run to go through the crossover. Now they go into the Daytona Banked corner. Fox defends. Here comes Howerton trying to set up for a crossover. Tries the over-under. Not quite there. His favorite place to pass, though, is in the inside hairpin. Fox is going to defend it. Howerton knows it. He sends it wide. Tries to set up for a crossover. Can't quite get there. Here comes McCorkadale. And oh, a little bit of contact. Howerton trying to pull out the last second to go too wide. Won't get it done. Eli Fox takes the one here this afternoon. For your heat race, Jared Howerton P2, McCorkadale P3. And the 2 teammates of the CWs, Levi Wilbur and Braden Heber, comes across to finish in 4th and 5th. So that will do it for the heat race for 206 medium. If you like that one, don't worry. They get to do it one more time here later this afternoon. Up next is your 206 junior set to go live here on Kart Chaser, and you are watching from Whiteland Raceway Park.
We're at a commercial break.
here we go for your 206 junior. Isaiah Maxey is going to take him to the green on the inside to the outside. Joseph Villette. Green flag is out. Isaiah Maxey's got the inside line and the advantage. Gets a little bit of a push there from Kart. I believe that was 45 of Gabriel Payne. So, sorry, 49 that is. No, that is the 45. Sorry, those numbers, the digital numbers are sometimes hard to read there. So that is Gabriel Payne in the 45. That gave a little bit of a push there to Isaiah Maxey to make themselves go up to the front of the field. So right now, Isaiah Maxey leads the way with Payne just behind. Gabriel Payne, that is. And Payne already looking to the inside. He got his elbows out quick, and I think it caught Isaiah off guard. He looked over the side, kind of in disbelief there for a second. Isaiah had to get his elbows out quick, and now he is going to continue to lead up the hill towards the start-finish straight. So Isaiah Maxey down towards the start-finish straight. We can see him tap the back of the helmet saying, hey, let's go. Let's start pushing. Let's get away from this group. And I'm wondering if Gabriel Payne maybe doesn't want to do that. Different teams. He plays teammates there with Evan Payton and Lucian Laser, both under that News Gen 10, so I'm pretty sure it'll probably be in Gabriel Payne's best interest to try to keep Isaiah Maxey at bay, keep him in that pack, so you can start going back and forth with him and get some help from your teammate and get him up towards the front. And I believe Isaiah Maxey is a privateer this weekend. I know he used to run under the AMAX tent. Not quite sure if he is back with them or if he is here by himself with just his father. It's been a father-son duo when they first started karting. He was running the 206 cadet program along with micros and minis. He was dominant here when he ran both. He was always running up in towards that front group. And so, we got one off. I believe that is a new gen. I think that's cart number 61 of Evan Patton, who was your fourth placeman. Now finds himself down the order. So Evan Patton is back into the 6th position. He falls behind his teammate of Maddox Hooper in the 5th position. So now the order goes Isaiah Maxey, Gabriel Payne, Joseph Villette, and Lucian Laser up into the 4th spot right now, as Lucian, I believe, is trying to hold off Maddox Hooper there, coming out of turn 3, able to do so, and there's a good shot. There is a battle between Lucian Laser and that white new gen just off on the backside, and that green and blue. Not quite sure what chassis that is of Maddox Hooper there in cart number 5, but there is a battle for the lead up on the right-hand side of your screen. Again, Isaiah Maxey, who we haven't seen here at Whiteland Raceway Park in quite some time. He used to be the only one who could keep AJ Stoner at bay when AJ Stoner's on his dominant run in the micro class, as well as the 206 cadet program. He finds himself back up towards the front of the field. I'm sure an old feeling for him coming new as he leads the way over Gabriel Payne, running cart number 45 on the new gen as a privateer, still leading the way out in front. Looking at the timesheet, Isaiah Maxey actually does not have the fastest time. That goes to Gabriel Payne, cart number 45 on the new gen. Finds himself P2 with a 48.621. Isaiah Maxey, your leader, last lap was a 48.664. So roughly about 4/100ths better was Gabriel Payne over Isaiah Maxey. Looking at now just about 2 minutes to go, is 3 minutes around the clock. Plus 2 laps is the distance here. Again, how this is even the feature. This is the heat race. So how they finish here determines where they start in the feature. Isaiah Maxey, great run out of that south side hairpin. Got a good arc up the hill coming through the final 2 corners. Now leading the way going down into turn number 1. Gap last time by was almost half a second, 0.467. So Isaiah Maxey has almost shaken Gabriel Payne out of his wake and out of the toe, and it would come down to driving abilities only, because you can't use that toe to your advantage if you're roughly about 6 to 8 tenths behind. That running window is about when the toe starts. If you can just get him to that point, he could be able to slowly start to walk away from. Right now, Isaiah, purple last time by. 48.579 for Isaiah Maxey, fastest kart on the track. Gabriel Payne's last lap was a 48.888. So he's starting to fall off just a little bit from your leader out in front. Here's a good battle right now for kart number 8 of Lucian Laser, who is up into P3, and Joseph Villette, who is running in that 4th spot. Let's keep an eye on this battle right here, and I'll tell you something about a young man progressing his way up the field. Lucian Laser was a driver who I always liked watching. He wasn't always quite up towards that front of the field, but you can see his progression and his learning curves. When he first started off, he was running a little bit towards the back of the field. Sometimes he couldn't quite make it and finish on the lead lap. He never lost faith. He always stayed in the kart. Him and his dad came out every single weekend, and they always continued to turn in times until he progressed his way to always finishing on the lead lap, to being up towards the mid-pack of the field. Now he finds himself battling up towards the front for a podium starting position right now. So credit where it's due for Lucian Laser. He's stuck with the program. He enjoys coming out here with his father. I can tell you his father has years of experience. Jimmy Laser is one of the probably best 100cc drivers that we've seen here in the Midwest. He used to run sprint cars and midgets. Now he finds himself out here at the Sun just to have a good time on the weekends. And Lucian Laser, man, does it feel good to see someone's hard work pay off, especially as a commentator. You've seen him work the way up the ranks, up inside the top 3, trying to go for a podium spot and start potentially on the inside of row number 2. So it's good to see that young man who's been with the New Gen program for the past 3 or 4 years, all his hard work paying off as he's battling up towards the front there with the likes of Joseph Vignette and Maddox Hooper as well, as Maddox Hooper was able to get around Joseph Vignette, so he finds his way up into P3. Maddox Hooper up into P3, Joseph Vignette back into the 4th position as we continue to watch here. The battle for 3rd, just a little bit farther up the road. That is actually Gabriel Payne, just off the right-hand side of your screen on that New Gen as well. That's Gabriel Payne there on the left-hand side, so he is falling ever so slightly out of the field of view of Isaiah Maxey, your leader. Right now the gap 2.43 seconds for your leader of Isaiah Maxey, as he was just shown 2 laps to go by your head flagman of Adam Burrows down into turn 1, and he can just bide his time a little bit longer to get that white flag, and then he do 1 more lap after that. He will start on pole position on the inside of row number 1. So right now what we're watching is the potential battle for the 2nd spot, as Gabriel Payne now in the field of view of his teammate Lucian Laser. Laser might actually have a chance to start in the front row. He's down by about 2 or 3 car lengths now. Not quite sure if Gabriel Payne, maybe his cart's starting to get overstuck with the tires getting too hot, or if he maybe dipped a wheel and bent something on the chassis, or what happened, but he is way off the pace now, and Lucian Laser sees a chance to start the front row for the first time this year. Up towards the top of the hill they go, down towards the start-finish straightaway. 2 laps this time by. Can Lucian Laser start on the front row for the first time? He's trying it into turn 1, takes the spot. Does he hold it? As of now, yes, but here comes Joseph Vignette as well. Vignette able to get around almost. He's door to door now with Gabriel Payne. Payne just trying to get back around his teammate. He's got his teammate in tow of Lucian Laser. Can't quite get the move done here. Does he try to go at it into the south side hairpin? He's right on the back bumper. He looks like he's going to try to make a move. Lucian Laser stays in line. A little bit of a push there from Vignette onto the back bumper of Gabriel Payne, and I think that may have done it, as now here comes the inside. Maddox Hooper tries it. We're going to come back to that in a second. Checker flag out. I don't want to neglect it. Isaiah Maxey starts on pole position his first weekend back. And how about that? Starting on the front row for the first time, Lucian Laser comes home in P2. Gabriel Payne comes across in P3. He'll start inside of row number 2. And Maddox Hooper starts on the outside of row number 2. Joseph Vignette came home in P5. Evan Patton made an unfortunate run for him after he got sent off the track there on the second to last corner. Colton Harden comes across in P7, and Spencer Comby finishes in P8. Wow, how about that for storylines for your 206 Junior Heat Race? Up next is your 206 Masters, coming to you live here on Kart Chaser. You are watching from Whiteland Raceway Park. After that, you'll start on pole position on the inside of row number 1. So right now what we're watching is the potential battle for the 2nd spot. And things are about to go down here for your 206 Masters Heat. Brian Williams is going to start on the outside of row number 1. Troy Toney starts on the inside of row number 1. Green flag is out down into turn number 1, and it is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be Brian Williams up on point, I believe. And it is. Troy Toney picked up a wheel going into turn 2, and he's going to fall back 1, count that, 2 positions. Brian Williams, your leader, out of turn number 3. Matt Geist up into that 2nd position. Adam Dietz, Kart 66, finds himself into P number 3 as they make their way through that little crossover down through that bank corner. Beautiful shot here at Whiteland Raceway Park on the banking as they make their way now into the south side hairpin. They're all nose to tail. Brian Williams, I believe this is the first time of the season and possibly his career leading the way in the heat race here at Whiteland Raceway Park, and it's going to be official now. Brian Williams is now a lap leader across the stripe. He is going to lead the way here with 4 minutes to go. So he's got to hold on for about 4 minutes and 2 laps. Bad news for him. Man with the most laps here is right behind him, Matt Geist in the 531. Him and Derek Hastings founded Ghost Racing Engines. They developed the engines here at Whiteland Raceway Park, ran it all the time. Every weekend you come out here, even throughout the week, either they would come out, maybe do 5 or even 10 laps or a couple track sessions and pack it up and go home just so that they could stay fresh. And I do believe fully that Matt Geist may have the most amount of laps than any driver here, not only racing in this weekend, but possibly in history at Whiteland Raceway Park in the past 3 or 4 years. As they make their way up the hill now, Geist all over the back bumper, Brian Williams. Williams defends just a little bit through that inside hairpin. Up the hill they go, down towards the start-finish straight, and it is still Williams out in front, and you can tell Matt Geist is getting a little anxious. He looked high. Does he have a peak down low? Thought about it for a moment, but he's going to stay right there in tow with Williams out in front. Williams goes a little wide. He has to go on the defensive now into turn 2. Matt Geist smells blood in the water, and he tries to send it high. Look for a crossover move here into turn 3. He goes all the way up to the quarter panel, gets right there on the inside. He's going to bring with him Adam Dietz as well. So Dietz goes down as well as Troy Toney. And it looked like Williams had to take his foot out of it, so he's going to go side by side with 3 people through the crossover. And now he's going to fall back into the likes of Michael Schaefer in that 5th position. So Troy Toney now up into 3rd, Dietz up into 2nd, Matt Geist up on point, and Brian Williams falls back into 4th, but he is right there in line. Top 5, all nose to tail. This time across the stripe, 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, as we got roughly 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. If my math doesn't mistake me, that does equal 5 minutes plus 2 laps. Down into turn number 1, it is still Geist out in front with Dietz in P2, and Troy Toney pushing hard on his back bumper, trying to make it a 3-car separation out in front, although that top 5 all in tow of each other, still nose to tail out of turn 3. Down the back straightaway they go, heading towards the crossover. Troy Toney had a little look to the inside of Dietz. Now over through Daytona banking, coming down to the south side hairpin. No one tries to defend, no one tries to make a move. Brian Williams, he closes right back up to that group, so he's now in the back bumper of Troy Toney up the hill, coming to the inside hairpin. Out of the inside hairpin and up the hill towards start-finish straight. Matt Geist out in front, holding on strong over Adam Dietz in P2. Troy Toney right there in 3rd. Toney looks low heading into turn 1. Does he take it? He's door to door. Does he have him cleared? Almost. Adam Dietz isn't going to make it easy on him. They still go side by side in turn 2, and it looks like Dietz holds on. Here comes Brian Williams. He now smells blood in the water. He tries for a crossover out of turn 3. He's got the run. Does he take it down this back straightaway? No, he puts it straight into his teammate's back bumper of Troy Toney. Catches right back up now to Adam Dietz, going straight into the south side hairpin now, and the gap is now starting to form between Matt Geist and Adam Dietz. About 5 or 6 kart lengths now is all that separates them, and I think that may have sealed the deal for Matt Geist, working lap number 5 right now. Minute 30 to go across the stripe now. And almost a second cleared is Matt Geist over Dietz, Toney, and Williams, respectfully, as there goes Williams up into P2. Matt Geist falls back to 3rd. Now, Toney up into P2. Dietz goes into 3rd, and that is now Williams trying to see if he can't make a move for that 3rd position. Schaefer not too far behind there in P number 5. He's up in the mix, but as of now, purple card on track, 48-2 by himself was Matt Geist. He had no push and no toe, and he is running about 0.7 of a second faster than the rest of the field. Last time by was 0.519, separate the two of them. But I'll tell you what, Troy Toney, he's been hooked up all day and fast all day. He is slowly starting to what appears to be close that gap back down, but I think he may have had a little bobble coming out of the second and final corner. Let's check the times. It was 0.7, now it's 0.9. So arguably it could have been because he made the little bobble. The time difference between the two, the last lap was 0.015. So I think Troy Toney is fast, but he just can't get a clean lap together, and now he's going to fall into the grips of that second pack, and they're all going to bunch back up now. Here comes Adam Dietz around that inside line in turn 3, so now count Adam Dietz up into the second spot. Troy Toney, I think now, is going to have to settle into P4 because Brian Williams is now up into third, and he is looking now on the back bumper of Adam Dietz. So Dietz has got his work cut out for him. He's got to hold off Brian Williams, although Williams is pushing hard on his back bumper. He might try to get him to close the gap back down, and we got nothing to lose. If you can keep your teammate at bay, might not hurt to see if it's worth it here for the next 2 laps. Give it a lap to see if you can make a move. If you know you're faster, just play the patient game. Do they do that down into turn 1? They do. They all say nose to tail. The gap last time by was just at a second, but if they can get a good lap here, that might be all that they need to close back up. Looked like Troy Toney got a little aggressive there on the exit of turn 1, as there goes Dietz defending the inside line to turn 3. So I think that may have sealed the deal for Matt Geist. I believe he is going to have a smooth sailing from here on out if they continue to battle here in the second pack. However, if you're Adam Dietz, not so similar story. He is probably very concerned right now that the 2 teammates behind him in that 3 pack are probably going to work together to get around him, so he has to go on the defensive now. Elbows out racing from here on out, boys. White flag coming out now for your leader of Matt Geist. One more time by before he can take pole position for the feature this afternoon. Adam Dietz still in that second spot. Let's see if we can't get a glimpse of him, because this is going to be where the battle happens. There they go. Nose to tail in a 3-car train down into turn 1. Looks like Troy Toney thought about a moment trying to make a move there on the inside of turn 2, thought better of it, and now Adam Dietz has to defend. Going into turn 3, Williams tries to do a wide crossover move, gets an okay run, probably not the best that he wanted. Troy Toney's right there to give his teammate a little bit of a push. Through the crossover they go. Now through the banking corner, into the south side hairpin. Dietz doesn't defend. No one tries to make a move here, but look for it in the final hairpin. Up the hill they go. Does Dietz take the inside defensive line? I think he has to. He does it, and no one makes a move. They stay in line. This may be a photo finish at the stripe. I'm not quite sure about it, though. Checkered flag out for Matt Geist. Rest of the field comes across in order. So Matt Geist takes the win. Adam Dietz P2. Brian Williams in 3rd. Troy Toney 4th. Michael Schaefer in 5th. And Kevin Simonelik comes across in P6. So that'll do it for your 206 Masters. Up next for the final heat race of the day, KA Senior and KA Master set to take the grid. To the high, look for a crossover move here to turn 3. He goes all into the quarter panel, gets right there on the inside. He's going to bring with him Adam Dietz as well. So Dietz goes down. It's one Here comes Brian Williams. He now smells blood in the water. He tries for a crossover out of turn 3. here we go. K.A. Senior and Master set to take the green. If you want a last-minute drama for the story shakeup, Augusto Sato Sharapa, who is set to start on pole position, is actually in the back of the field. That is then going to promote Carson Sauter up onto pole position. Jackson Deal up on P2 on the outside line. Green flag is out. Let's watch him at turn number 1. And it is going to be back and forth. Oh, we got Karts turned around over in that mid-pack. Looks like that is the 952, if I'm not mistaken. That is Cami Pfister, who unfortunately almost went up in the air, got 2 wheels up on the side. Thankfully came down safely. It looks like that kart's okay. Unfortunate day to see, but thankfully the driver is safe along with the driver. As now, let's switch back up towards the front of the field. Carson Sauter, how about that for a start? Went straight to the inside line, was able to pedal it all the way through, got to the inside the second corner, and is now leading over the rest of the field, and roughly has about an 5 to 6 kart gap over the rest of the field. So Carson Sauter out in front, 1 second lead right now as the yellow's out on the entry of turn 2 due to the incident that happened. Here's a good replay of it. Looks like they just all got together, and thankfully that kart went up in the air but came down okay. I mean, might be a little uncomfortable in the back tomorrow, but thankfully able to get out of the cart under their own power, and now it looks like they're going to try to actually get back going again. So that is good news to see. Unfortunate that they weren't up in the mix of the field, but thankfully that they are okay. Now, let's switch back over to the front half of the field. Carson Sauter out in front. Last time by, had a second gap over the rest of the field, and it looks like that second group is starting to bunch back up, and I think this is going to possibly seal the deal for Carson if he can keep it clean out in front. It was a 1 second gap. 1.8 now separates Carson Sauter from the rest of the field, and how about this for lap times? 43.201 for Carson Sauter. Jackson Deals last time in P2, 43.960. So that is now roughly 0.7 of a second gap that Jackson Deal has to make up now to catch back up to Carson Sauter. There he is on the right-hand side, and there's the rest of the field in question, although A.J. Ludd was able to get around Jackson Deal, so count him up into the second spot. Someone else up in the mix, that's Braden Johnson in the 4th position. He is now battling up in that front half of the field. He normally find him around that 5th spot in that group of like 1 to 5. Now he is on the cusp of trying to push himself past the top 5 and continue on. Good shot of second on back there. That Top Kart USA entry of A.J. Ludd, currently setting at P2. Jackson Deal in the 3rd position now in that MPG Kart Republic, and he looks like he has his hands full right now. He had to dance that car out of turn 3 as he's trying to hold off Braden Johnson in that 4th spot on the AMAX Tony Kart entry in P4, and just behind him, Lane Gibbs on their MPG Kart Republic set in P5. But how about this for a dominant run so far with about 2 minutes left to go for Carson Sauter? He hasn't been in a kart too long so far. There's a good shot there of looks like Braden Johnson in that Tony kart, and now that's Brayden Rudder in P6. Let's see if we can't have a good shot of maybe the battle that's going on there for the 3rd position with Braden Johnson and that red and white MPG. Jackson Deal in that red-white MPG Kart 944, and Braden Johnson in that green and white Tony Kart running in P4 right now. I think those are the closest battle we can see on track of that AMAX entry. Is there a good shot of the entire field going into the south side hairpin? There's your leader right there, Carson Sauter. And how about this for a storyline? You want to talk about a young man who's trying to make it for whatever he can? That young man is still in high school, a Ron Colley student right now, and he is fully funded by sponsors that he has gotten himself. He doesn't have a big checkbook. The money that he gets on his own is the money that he uses to race. He teamed up with GP Kart USA about a year and a half ago to start running the 100cc program for him. He's running a full season of stars in the entire SKUSA Supernats schedule as well. He went to Supernats last year for the first time in his first year of karting and almost put it in the show. And if you know anything about the Supernats, you know that's quite impressive, especially with only 1 year of karting under your belt. So impressive run there for that young man, Carson Sauter, and that GP Kart Factory Fury running out in P1. Now let's look at this battle right here. That is Braden Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, in that Tony Kart under AMAX Racing. He is in P4, but right now he's got his hands full. Right behind him, I believe that's Brayden Rudder, who is up into P5. Lane Gibbs has fallen back into 6th, and a couple other as well. Looks like that is the I believe that's Augusto Sada Sharapa. It is in that 906 Top Kart USA entry right there on the back bumper of what is his teammate of Hudson Porter in the 909. So those two Top Karts trying to work together. We've seen both of those up towards the front. Their other teammate currently running in the second spot of AJ Lutt. So those two trying to see if they can't just get closer to their teammate by the time it comes time for the feature here this afternoon so they can all work together going forward. That is the teammate right there in question. That is AJ Ludd, car number 43, Top Kart USA entry, as we see 2 laps to go. There's your leader on the right-hand side of the screen, Carson Sauter. Then you go to AJ Ludd, followed by Jackson Deal, and then there's that 4-pack battle in question. Braden Rudder, P4. Braden Johnson, P4, Braden Rudder, P5, and they're the 2 teammates actually getting together. Augusto Sauter Sharapa and Hudson Porter went door to door through turns 2 and 3, and there's Augusto Sauter Sharapa saying, hey, let's work together, why don't we? Got 2 laps and 2 karts to get around. They both want to be up towards the front, but I believe battling your teammate hard is not in the playbook if you want to play under team rules right now as they're making their way through, and it looks like they slowly start to get it settled back down. Augusto Sauter Sharapa pulled out a little bit of a lead, 2 kart lengths over his teammate there of Hudson Porter, as he's now on the back bumper and now actually take a look to the inside of, if I'm not mistaken, that was Braden Rudder. So now he is in the tow of Braden Johnson out in front as the white flag shows. So Augusto Sauter Sharapa may be able to go from last to 4th if he can play it right. He's door to door. Does he have the point to turn 2? Well, yes, he does. Augusto Sauter Sharapa up to 4th after starting in last, and now Braden Johnson has to go on the defensive. He's holding off Hudson Porter there in the 6th position, if I'm not mistaken, 7th position, as they make their way over on the backstretch. So there it looks like they're starting to settle down just a little bit. Let's see if we can't get a shot of our leader as he makes his way towards the start-finish straight. How about this drive for that young man? Carson Sauter going to sit on pole position for the first time and take the win here in the heat race as the checkered flag flies. Here comes the second pack, and let's keep an eye up on it as they're still going to go 4 and 5 wide. Somehow they're going to make it through cleanly. So Carson Sauter takes the win. AJ Ludd in P2. Jackson Deal finishing in 3rd. Augusto Sauter Sharapa from starting 15th, finishing in 4th. Braden Johnson comes across P5. Hudson Porter P6. Lane Gibbs in 7th. Braden Rudder 8th. Michael Gundoff finishing in 9th. Brandon McIntosh finishing in 10th and rounding out your top 10. Joshua Nelson in 11th. Michael Winston in 12th. Casey Perry in 13th. Cami Fisher in 13th after that scary incident that happened there on the start. And Casey Perry 14th, Blake Finley rounding out the field in 15th. So that'll do it here for KA 100 Seniors and Master. Up next, we're going to go feature racing with 206 Cadet and Sportsman. That will start at 4:10 in roughly 8 minutes. We'll go green here with 206 Cadet and Sportsman racing. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere as you're watching Kart Chaser.
So I always know where to find you. There was one day, what was going on? Well, if we don't show up at flat the girls start worrying. Oh, yeah. We go there on Sunday.
We're at a commercial break.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com? They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep,
gloves,
yep,
rib protectors.
got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
They'll come around right here. They slowed them down way early.
And here we go for 206 Sportsman. Will Feichtinger is going to start on the outside of run number 1. Dominic Gaddis starts on point down into turn number 1. How do they stack up? And it's actually going to be a good jump there from Dominic Gaddis. This group needs to be careful. Last time by, Dominic Gaddis went on a commanding run. Almost 4 seconds and 5 minutes plus 2 laps is how much he had over the rest of the field. Feichtinger is actually going to fall back into that 3rd position. He's getting split right now by, I believe that's Titus Roberts from Dominic Gaddis out in front of his teammate, and Feichtinger in the 3rd position. Down towards the south side hairpin and up the hill they go. Top 3 slowly starting to pull away. I believe Kason Hendrickson finds himself up in the 4th spot after starting in 7th. So 3 spots gained after the first couple of corners there for Kason Hendrickson in Kart 202. I believe that is a Coyote on a AMAX Racing entry there, and it is. So that is going to be Hendrickson up into 4th, Feichtinger into P3, Titus Roberts in the 2nd spot, Dominic Gaddis out in front. And I'll tell you what, Gaddis is going to have more work cut out for him than he did during the heat race, because right now Titus Roberts is not making his life easy. He's staying right there on the back bumper, giving a little bit of a, not so much a support as more of just trying to keep him away from the rest of the field so they can do their own battle when it comes to time. However, I think Gaddis might be set up for the long run and not the short run here. Titus Roberts might be set up to go a little bit quicker here off the start. And then we got 2 different chassis manufacturers inside the top 3. Dominic Gaddis and Feichtinger both on MPG Kart Republics, and Titus Roberts is on a Haas chassis under the new gen branch in that 2nd position. They go back to Kason Hendrickson on the Coyote AMAX, and a little bit farther back before you get to Blake Martinez, who I believe is a privateer running on an OTK in that 4th and 5th position. So the top 3 now fully have split from the rest of the field. Gaddis, Roberts, Feichtinger a little bit farther back, but not quite close enough to make a move on the top 3. And then it gets a little bit even more spaced out before we get to Hendrickson, who's battling it out with Blake Martinez in that 5th spot. So there's your top 3. There's 1, 2, and then 3 in that camera view. Again, beautiful shot on the exit of the bank corner there of Daytona before they make their way into this corner right here, the south side hairpin, one of the best passing opportunities you have. So leading that 2nd group on the right-hand side of your screen, Kason Hendrickson, then they're the leaders. So that is Gaddis, Roberts, Feichtinger in that orange helmet not too far back in Kart number 10. Down towards turn 1 they go, and not quite close enough there for Roberts to make a move on the leader. Right now he's trying to stay in the tow. Last time by, he was about 3/10, almost 4/10 back from the leader of Gaddis. Feichtinger about 1.1 seconds off of his teammate of Dominic Gaddis out in front, about 7/10 back from Titus Roberts in that 2nd position. So down that backstretch they go through that little crossover that you can see there on the right-hand side before they go through the banking corner. Top 3 continue to stay spaced out. Let's see if we can't take a peek back there in the battle for that 4th position with Kason Hendrickson leading that pack for a moment, because I believe Blake Martinez was able to get around. So it is Martinez up 1 more position, count him up to 4th. Kason Hendrickson has fallen back into P5. Just behind the car number 5, that's Dalton Sears on that MPG Kart Republic as well. He's not quite in the field of view to make a move on Hendrickson right now for that 5th spot. Hendrickson right now in the tow of Martinez in P4. As we switch back over, I believe that is about it for the lead. That is. So it's Feistinger there in the orange helmet in the 3rd spot. Then there's that much of a break before you get to the rest of the field being led by Martinez in that 2nd pack. And you can see just how much the spacing has gotten to so far. You get that 3-pack spaced out, then that 4-pack, and there's a beautiful shot down that back straightaway. There's your leader going by on that bottom side of your screen of Dominic Gaddis under the MPG branch out in front. Titus Roberts, the sole new gen, on track inside the top 5. Last time by, he went purple. 47.875 for Titus Roberts out in front, or for Titus Roberts in P2. Roughly about 4 1/1000ths off the time of Dominic Gaddis in P1. So he's making up a little bit of time, although that last lap he kind of backed it off a little bit, about a 10th off of Dominic Gaddis' time. So not quite close enough to make a move, and he still is falling ever so slightly off the pace of your leader. But it seems to ebb and flow. Sometimes it close back up, and then it'll fade back down. And I think it stayed kind of consistent with him slowly starting to chip away at that gap to stay up towards the front of the field. He was down by a 10th, like I said before, last time by. But I think if he can maybe just start to keep it consistent here and maybe start to chip away at that gap ever so slightly, he might be able to use that toe and get right there by the end of it. We're roughly about 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So we're just over halfway now, about a lap away from halfway now. So still plenty of time there for your 2nd placement, Titus Roberts. Last time by, he was about 2/10ths off. Dominic Gaddis, 48.0. Titus Roberts, 48.2. Will Feistinger, 48.25 to Titus Roberts, 48.26. So Feistinger slowly starting to turn it back up. Again, that's a lot of time to make up. You can see on your screen that right there is Martinez, Blake Martinez that is, in the 4th position. Just behind him is Kason Hendrickson running in that 202 under the AMAX Racing umbrella. So he, not quite close enough to make a move, but he's in that field of view. And just a little bit farther back, I think that might be the closest battle we have between Jordan Lamfin and Dalton Sears in 6th and 7th respectfully. So top group spaced out relatively close to each other, but overall fairly spaced out as we're looking at 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go now. Looking at the times again, it looks like Gaddis was able to pull out another 3/10ths from Titus Roberts. So 1 second gap now between Gaddis and Roberts. Feistinger a little bit slower than Titus Roberts as well. He was about 2/10ths off, so he's about 2.4 seconds behind his teammate, the leader of Dominic Gaddis, about 1.4 second back from Titus Roberts in that 2nd spot. So top 3 have spaced out. I don't think they're going to bunch back up here the next 3 minutes plus 2 laps. We're now over halfway, and then you get a little bit farther back there to Martinez in 4th. Giant gap. He's kind of in no man's land right now. No draft in the front, no push from behind, and then you get a little bit farther back, and I think that's the closest battle. Hendrickson, Lamfin, and Sears running in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Almost nose to tail. It looks like that Lamfin might have a little bit more in his cart than Hendrickson does right now. Dalton Sears, though, looks like he's battling a loose cart. He was sliding it through that inside hairpin, just trying to wheel it through as much as he can to hold on to the battle up towards the front. So they continue to go back and forth as you're looking now. That is, if I'm not mistaken, Hendrickson still holding on to that 4th spot. With Lamfin not too far behind, is now they're going to go door to door over through that cut through, and let's see if we can't get a good shot of that right there. I think they were able to make it through, so that is now Hendrickson back 1 more position. Count Lamfin up into the top 5. Sears now maintains that 7th position so far, so the top 3 still spread out, and we're now watching the battle for the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot overall. 1 minute and 40 seconds remain here, plus 2 laps. Is there time is continuing to wind down right now for Dominic Gaddis, a 1.8 second lead over the rest of the field so far. Will Feistinger in that 3rd spot, again, also in no man's land. He's got a 1.8 second gap in front, about a 3 second gap behind. So all he has to do is take a knee. You're going to get some good points here, end up on the podium. You can take that 3rd spot, start focusing more towards the championship going forward. But right now, it looks like the top 3 are probably going to be stagnant and stay just how they are. We are 7 minutes and 50 seconds in right now, so about a minute and 10 until we see 2 laps to go now. Across the stripe goes your leader, Dominic Gaddis, putting another lap in the book. 10 laps in so far, so my guess is we're going to be looking somewhere around the 13 to 14 laps in total here for this future event. We continue to look back here, trying to see if there's any other battles on track that we can highlight for you guys. There were Will Feistinger going into turn 2. That right there, I believe, is the battle between Martinez and Jordan Lanfin. So that is the 38 and P4. And Lanfin in the 5th spot. They are somewhat nose to tail. Looks like Lanfin is in the toe of Martinez, going through that banked corner now, heading towards the back straightaway. So that might turn into something here for the battle inside the top 5, as we are looking now at 35 seconds as your leader makes their way across the stripe. And it looks like they're going to get one more lap. So 3 laps to go at the line now for Dominic Gaddis. He's got to hold on just a little bit longer. His breathing room, 2.8 seconds over the rest of the field. There's Martinez right behind him. That's cart number 8 of Jordan Lanfin. Lanfin takes a look to the inside. Does he take the spot from him? It looks like no. Lanfin is going to stay right there in the toe of Blake Martinez in cart number 38 in that 4th spot. So they're battling it out for the 4th and 5th position. Through turns 3 they go. Lanfin gets a little wide coming out of turn 3, and that is then going to allow a little bit of a gap now for Martinez to pull away, going over through the crossover before he gets to the bank corner. And Lanfin not close enough this time to make a move for that 4th spot. Let's see if we can't switch back over to the leader here for the final 2 laps as we watch Dominic Gaddis across the start-finish straight. And can you say any more about it? Almost a picture-perfect weekend, just a little bit more to bring it on home. Pole position, heat race win, and trying to go for the feature win. That would be a clean sweep of the weekend if he's able to get it done. As there goes Martinez and Lanfin, I believe. Martinez still in 4th, Lanfin in the 5th spot. So that is the in the battle for P4. I don't think Lanfin's close enough to make a move just quite yet. Last time by, Lanfin went a 49.0. Martinez 48.7. So Martinez is a little bit quicker than Lanfin. I don't think much is going to come from that. But now coming to the white flag for one more time by Dominic Gaddis in that MPG Kart Republic. Goes into the inner hairpin for the 2nd to final time. Makes the climb up the hill, and here it is. White flag in hand. One more time by for a clean sweep of the weekend for the 257. Dominic Gaddis, not a kart in sight behind, no lappers in front. Smooth sailing and just a practice lap for him before he can bring it on home and get the trophy this afternoon. Making the sweeper through turn 2 for the final time, getting it set up for turn 3, going all the way out to the grass where bringing it down, barely clips the curve, goes on the backstretch, picture perfect corner for him. Now through the crossover, barely picking up the wheel on the curb, going straight into the bank corner, falling into the banking, rolling out of it perfectly now into the south side hairpin, through the south side for the final time, and making the climb up the hill. Give it up for Dominic Gaddis. He's done almost a clean sweep of the weekend. 2 more corners to do it. Up the hill, and he will. Dominic Gaddis sweeps the weekend here for 206 Sportsman. Titus Roberts comes home in P2, and Will Feistinger brings it home in the 3rd position. So that will round out your top 3. It looks like Martinez and Lanfin finish in 4th and 5th. Dalton Sears in 6th. Casey Henderson 7th. Lincoln Wiley should be the next one to line. He has been leading that pack of 4 all race long, and it looks like he will bring it on home to lead out over the rest of them. And so Lincoln Wiley comes home in 8th. Cadence Peebles in 9th. Nico Santos in 10th. Zachary Palik in 11th, and Nolan Wade rounds out the field in 12th. So that'll do it for your 206 Sportsman. Up next is your 206 Cadet. That is coming to you live here on Kart Chaser from Whiteland Raceway Park. Green flag is out for your 206 cadet. Brett Hastings up on the front row is actually going to fall back into P3 as Reagan Hodges and Zachary McNeely are up towards the front. It looks like Hodges actually is now going to have the lead as Brett Hastings makes his way up into P2. Count McNeely back into the third spot as lap number 1 underway in the field, already spread out. Look at that, 3 karts out in front, roughly about 5 or 6 kart lengths overhead the rest of the field. I believe that's Ryan Wheeler who's leading that second pack, and just behind him goes Christopher Heinzen, Enzo Steiner, and Juliet Simon Ellick in that second half of the field. So a little bit of a chaotic start. Top 3 though spaced out. Hastings, Hodges, and McNeely, 1, 2, 3 so far, as Reagan also trying to do a clean sweep of the weekend. She's trying to join the likes of Dominic Gaddis this afternoon. Hodges already coming off of the high of a win this morning when she was running in the micro division, now trying to see if she can't do it in the 206 version of it in cadet as they make their way now over into turns number 3 and 4, and already a giant space so far between Hodges and Hastings, 1 and 2. P3 of McKinley, also another gap as well. So right now Hodges has about a second lead over Hastings. Hastings currently has about a second lead over McNeely, and then McNeely currently sitting at about a 5-second gap between himself and Christopher Heinzen. So top 3 all spread out. The rest of the field also starting to get spread out as well. So this might get a little stagnant later on, which again is the worst thing for a commentator. You'd love to see a bunch of door-to-door chaos all the way through. Gives you something to talk about the entire event long. We will sit here and watch as Reagan Hodges trying to see if she can't go 2 for 2 this afternoon. A win this morning and a win this afternoon would be a great way to kick off Mother's Day weekend, as right there, that's the Kart 40 that we've been looking at. Liette Simonellic, who was back in the 7th position and had that heartbreak in the pre-final event where some mechanical event happened where they came to a stop after almost having a 4-kart length lead over the rest of the field, had to go to the back of the field, and now Liette has his work cut out for him as they're trying to make their way up through the field as well. We are 2 laps in, about 2 minutes and 20 seconds out of 9 so far. We're looking at 7 minutes to go right when Reagan crosses the line now. And again, Brett Hastings, how about that for a breakthrough weekend? After running up in about the mid parts of the track, making his way up towards the front now, as he is sitting about 3 seconds behind your leader, Reagan Hodges, out in front. Patrick McNeely in third. Looks like slowly starting to get reeled in by Liette Simonellic in that 4th position, as that gap, it looked like it was starting to close back down. Now I think it's starting to stagnate out here. So the entire field so far spread all the way out. Hodges currently has a 3.5-second lead over Hastings. Hastings has about a 1.5-second lead over McNeely. McNeely sitting comfortably right now with 6 seconds between himself and Liette Simonellic in P4. And Simonellic currently sitting at about a 5-second gap all the way throughout the rest of the field. So we're going to crank it up here just for a little bit so I maybe can get a quick sip of water. And when we come back, it is going to be all out racing here for your top 3. And here's a battle on track. The 538 of Patrick McNeely was able to get around Brett Hastings, kart number 31, so he's going to move himself up to that second position. And right now, Hastings holding on to P3 right now. And looking at the times as well, second fastest kart on track, kart 40 of Liette Simonelik in P4 right now, is turning 49.6s. Meanwhile, he's about a second faster than both Brett Hastings and Patrick McNeely as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that, as now he has got third place in sight of Brett Hastings. Reagan Hodges, on the other hand, has the fastest lap of the field so far, 49.273 for Reagan Hodges. She currently holds a significant lead over the rest of the field. 10.9 seconds separates herself and Patrick McNeely in second. And here comes Liette Simonelik. Let's see if we can watch that battle going on right now. There is Hodges working way up through lap traffic. Let's see if we can't get a look at kart number 31 and kart 40 here of Hastings and Liette Simonelik. There they are on the, or I thought they were on, there they are, sorry, going down the back straightaway. So Hastings hasn't quite lost sight of the 538 of Patrick McNeely. However, behind him, it looks like the storms are brewing. Liette Simonelik, who was turning out the fastest laps in the heat race, had an unfortunate problem with a mechanical issue, now finds himself having to, one, battle and try to get position back with Patrick McNeely, but two, hold off the charge of the field that Liette has had so far. Down towards the start-finish straightaway they go. They're nose to tail. That's 2, 3, and 4. So two of these drivers are going to end up with pieces of hardware here this afternoon. The one in fourth is going to get some good points, but it's going to be probably not the best weekend that they won so far. Here they go, nose to tail, a little bit of bob there from Patrick McNeely. He's going to open up and swing wide. Here comes Liette. Oh, almost got into the back bumper there of Brett Hastings. Somehow able to save it, but that's going to hurt him in the long run, as he's going to lose another 4 or 5 seconds now. So that's going to be good news for Brett Hastings, because he can put his attention on trying to find a way around Patrick McNeely for P2. We're looking now at 24 seconds to go. Double sticks are up in the air now. So Reagan Hodges has 2 more laps to go before she can get a double win here this afternoon, as lap traffic has bunched up that mid-pack. So now we're looking at Patrick McNeely under fire from Brett Hastings going down into turn 1. Down that straightaway, the front straightaway, they go into turn number 1 now. That's, I believe that's the 220 or the 27 of Enzo Signer running in the 5th position. But let's see if we can't get a look for this battle going on for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot just behind these two, a little bit farther back. There it is, those 3 karts going out of turn 3. So that is Patrick McNeely in 2nd, Brett Hastings in 3rd. Liette Simonelik able to recoup for that 4th spot, and is trying to see if he can't work himself up another couple positions to get on that podium step. Lap traffic in front, that's going to bunch him up as Brett Hastings gets down the inside, and oh, contact between the two of them! That is both McNeely and Brett Hastings colliding on the exit of the Southside hairpin, and guess who's up into the 2nd spot from it? Liette Simonelik, from driving from the back of the field, finds himself up towards the front, and he's going to come across the stripe into P2, which is going to promote, if I'm not mistaken, that should be Christopher Heinzen up into the 3rd position. So those 2 karts are still stuck together. Meanwhile, white flag is out in air, and that means Reagan Hodges. Let's see if we can't get a good shot of her, kart number 33, into the Southside hairpin now. She's got just a handful of corners to go before she can get a double win here this afternoon. She won earlier today in the micro class, trying to go for a clean sweep of the weekend. Up to the final couple of corners, Reagan Hodges is going to bring it home for another win here this afternoon and win in 206 Cadet Final. Liette Simonelik is slowing down to try to get around lap traffic after the incident that happened now. So it still registers Patrick McNeely in the 3rd position due to the fact that there was lappers that were 2 laps down. However, Liette Simonelik, give it up for him. A drive back up through the field, comes home in P2 after starting dead last. And I believe your 3rd placeman now is Christopher Heinzen, who is able to unlap himself from both Brett Hastings and Patrick McNeely, and he is going to come home in P3. Enzo Signer in P4, Ryan Wheeler in 5th, Patrick McNeely in 6th, and Brett Hastings in 7th after that unfortunate event coming out of the Southside hairpin. Looks like they're both getting checked out now by our corner workers to make sure that they are okay. We hope that they are okay, and looks like they are out of their karts and safe on the barrier. So we'll keep you guys updated with that. Right now, we're going to take a little bit of commercial break and show some replays. Up on track next is your 206 medium.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
And here is the second biggest feature race of the afternoon. Your 206 senior medium. Eli Fox starts on pole position, the inside of row number 1. The man who's been working with him all day long, Jared Howerton starts on the outside of row number 1 and P number 2. And then you have McCorkadale start on the inside of row 3, and just on the outside of row 2, and on the outside is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, that should be Levi Wilbur and the CW Burrell Art, as they are all going nose to tail now over to turn 3. Here comes McCorkadale. Deep sit up the inside. He's trying to break up the 2-pack. Can't quite get it done, and he's going to have to sit in the slipstream there of the top 2 of Fox and Howerton. Just behind McCorkadale, if I'm not mistaken, that should... Yeah, Brayton Johnson sitting there up in the 5th spot. Couldn't quite see the number from here. I'm still thinking of his Tony Kart that he runs in the KA class, but now he has found himself up into P4. Actually, I think that might be the 48. Gage Giustinato up into the 4th spot. How about that for Gage? After starting in the mid-pack, finds himself up into P4. Just behind him, Braden Heber is in the 5th spot. And right now, Heber trying to see if he can't find his way around in that CW Burrell Art in that now 4th position. Just behind him, his teammate of Levi Wilbur in the CW Burrell Art as well. So those guys all go nose to tail, and a little bit of a peek there from the inside from Evan McCorkadale. He wants to break up this 2-pack bad. He knows he doesn't have teammates up there, and he's seeing if he can split the 2 teammates, keep them at bay. Just feed them to the wolves, get them back in that mid-pack, and prevent them from running away from the field is the name of the game right now. However, the 2 out in front have been running identical times throughout the qualifying heat races. They stayed together, they stayed nose to tail, and they waited till the very end to start battling. Jared Howerton takes a peek back, see how close he is, or how close Evan McCorkadale is. Right now he's showing about 3 or 4 kart lengths, and it might be a little stagnant out in front, because right now McCorkadale is starting to lose sight of the top 2, and he's got no alliances up front. He's got about 8 to 9 kart lengths before he gets to a kart from behind, so he can't get any assistance from behind him. Right now he's going to have to hope off the slipstream and maybe a setup advantage. He's going to have to hope that maybe his tires come in later than the top 2 do, and this is only due to the fact that they are pulling away from tires. However, I don't think that's the case, because the same thing we've seen before, as we have 1 go through the barriers, and 2 into the wall there in the bank corner. I believe that may be car number 02 of Kyle Landon that got tagged by a kart cutting through the field there in the grass of the bank corner. Hopefully we can get a replay of that so we can break it down play by play here in a second. But let's watch the top 2 making their way now into turn number 1, just off in the distance of Evan McCorkadale, as they continue to go nose to tail. The top 2 do, as still Fox out in front. Howerton P2 currently right now. Howerton sets the fastest lap time of 47.2. Here's the replay. So through the grass, it looks like that's Gage Justinato, I think, goes through and just tags the back bumper there of Kyle Landon and puts Kyle Landon into the wall. So thankfully both karts are okay and running under their own power, but scary incident there going through the bank corner. But again, both are under power and underway. And unfortunate to see there from Gage Justinato, the car number 48, who's having a great race so far, being inside the top 5 in that 4th position, now finds himself back into P10. So Fox out in front, Howerton P2. Howerton went purple that last lap, 47.168. Fastest lap for Eli Fox in front, 47.170. And man, Evan McCorkadale, an island of his own right now. No assistance from behind, doesn't have the toe out in front. All he has to do is just kind of bide your time by. He's got 5 minutes and 30 seconds plus 2 laps. Might be a very boring day for him, but the good news is he'll take home a 3rd place. He'll get the points of P3 and also get a nice little piece to put on the shelf here this afternoon. And the gap right now between McCorkadale and Brandon Heber, the car behind, 2.8 seconds. So all he's going to have to do is just sit and hope that something happens to these top 2, whether one of them bobbles the speed of the other. Howerton tries to make a pass on Fox or whatever it may be, but I think with the experience that the top 2 have, it's just going to be the Fox and Howerton show here this afternoon, as we're looking at about 5 minutes to go as we are 4 minutes in. Fastest lap still goes to Howerton. Let's look at the time gap. Eli Fox last time by went a 47.286. Howerton 47.291, so almost identical there. McCorkadale 2/10 off with a 47.941. So very stagnant race there inside the top 3. Let's go a little bit farther back and see if we can't catch the battle between Braden Heber, Levi Wilbur, and Braden Johnson, the 8, the 06, and the 26. So there is the 8, and whoa, a little loose there. I believe that was Levi Wilbur in the 06, the CW Braille Art. Got a little loose there and kicked the back end out. Now he might be under fire here shortly from Braden Johnson, car number 26, and that I believe that is a Coyote under the AMAX Racing tent. So he might be able to make himself a one more position and crack inside the top 5. But right now he's playing it patient. He's up on that wheel, trying to see if he can't stay in the toe there of car number 6, that red, white, and blue CW Braille Art. He's in the toe, roughly about 2 kart lengths back right now. And closing up out of turn 2. He's going to have a good toe out of turn 3 now if he can nail it perfectly. And it looks like he gets maybe a little early there on the entry. Gets a good toe. He's all the way up on the wheel. His head's tucked down. And he's now right on the back bumper of Wilbur. It's just battle for the top 5. It's just a little bit farther back. Looked like there was a pass made there between, I believe that was Raider Santos and Randolph Galencia was able to get around as well. So here is the battle for the 5th spot. That is Heber in kart number 8 on that CW Braille Art P4. Wilbur just behind him in that red, white, and blue right there. The car in the middle running at P5, and just behind him at 6, Braden Johnson tries to see if he can't crack the top 5. Those 2, or 3 I should say, looks like they're equal spacing all the way through. So not a whole lot to report on there. It looks like Johnson is making up a little bit of time slowly but surely, but he needs just a little bit more in the tank. He might have it here out of turn 3. Let's see it. He's about 2 kart lengths down. Don't think he can make a move into the south side hairpin this time. Might be able to get there for a pass in the inside hairpin if he really wants it, but he doesn't have a whole lot of competition from behind. Roughly about a 3-second gap from behind, so he can probably bide his time here. Just run up in that front half of the group and then wait. Might be able to get a 2-for-1 special on the teammates of Heber and Levi Wilbur if he's able to time it right. All you got to do is sit back and play student. There is your 2 out in front, Fox and Howerton. As Howerton playing student right now, as I was just talking about before with Johnson, to Eli Fox out in front. He's just learning right now. Where's Fox faster? What can I do differently? Where can I get a good run on him? 2 different chassis manufacturers. You have Eli Fox on the new gen team based here at Whiteland Raceway Park on a Haas chassis, and then Howerton with the home-built iCart based in Indianapolis, Indiana. They do have garages here. That's where they call home. They run almost every single event here. Decided that they don't want to do any national racing. They want to focus more on the bluegrass. They want to stay home and make sure that they can build up the program here. Maybe take a national racing one day. But I was talking to Jared Howerton about it before. He said, I don't think it's in the plans. We like just coming out here and having fun. We like that we can experiment. Don't really have anyone who's going to be too irritated if we decide to change something drastic. And right now, that car has been developed perfectly so far, as he is taking it to someone who is the reigning champion in the 206 senior medium, Eli Fox out in front. Last time by, Howerton went purple, 46.952. Eli Fox, 46.957. So they're almost identical times. Again, it's been the story over and over between these two. But The clock is nearing 0. 1 minute and 20 seconds plus 2 laps to go. I think they might get 2, possibly 3 more laps before the double sticks are thrown, as this time across the stripe. They're looking at about 1 minute and 20 across the board, maybe 1 minute and 10. It is 1 minute and 10 as they go down into turn number 1. So does Howerton take it here? He does not. Continues to stay on the back bumper. They've done a good job playing teammates to each other. Eli Fox last time went purple, 46.859. So they're just getting faster and faster each lap. Currently sitting at about 3.3 seconds ahead of McCorkadale in that 3rd spot. There's Fox taking a look back. He's probably not looking to see what Howerton's doing. He's probably looking to see how far back McCorkadale is. Plenty of breathing space between the two of them now, heading over into the south side hairpin. This time by, might be 2 laps to go. 30 seconds left, under 30 seconds. It goes down to the dealer's choice of the flagman. I don't think he's going to throw it now, and it looks like he's going to not. He's giving me the signal. 3 laps to go at the board. Down into turn number 1. Howerton, he knows it's coming soon. He can see the flagman holding the flags right now, and he knows it's probably going to come out next time by. When does he make the move? Does he want to try to go now before Fox anticipates it and then leaves Fox to set to make the final move? Or do you want to wait and make the final move? Down over into turn 3, he's still working that back bumper. They keep going fast lap after fast lap. Fox is still purple right now with the 46.857. Down into the bank corner for the 3rd and final time. Over into the south side hairpin. Does he take it here? No, he stays in line. There is a battle right now between 4th, 5th, and 6th. It looks like to be a little stagnant right now, so let's see if we can't just watch the top 2 as they're approaching 2 laps to go, making their way up the hill. Here they go across the line. Double sticks in the air. Jared Howerton, when are you doing it? Is it now, or is it going to be another lap from now? Down into turn 1. Fox does not defend. Howerton does not make the attempt, so he's going to stay right behind Fox, going through the sweeper of turn 2, now heading up over towards the sweeper of turn 3. This is one of the fastest parts of the track. Get a great run down this back straightaway, heading towards the sweeper. The crossover going into the bank corner. He decides not to take it here. He's going to stay in line. Now through Daytona. Does Howerton try to set him up into turn 2? Fox doesn't defend. The door was wide open. Howerton didn't take it. He continued to push. No crossover move made up the hill, but this corner is where Howerton loves to make a pass, and this is where he does it. Howerton now on to point. Fox trying to set up a crossover move. Howerton trying to force him into trying to push the back of the cart. He's going to have to do so down the main straightaway. White flag in the air in turn number 1. Howerton defends. Fox to the outside. Crossover possibility here on the exit. Does Fox take it? He tries for it. Howerton's got the defensive now. He's going to hold it inside line. Fox has the advantage of speed. He's going to sweep it back to the outside line again. Tries to set up for a crossover move. Howerton goes a little wide. They go door to door. Howerton gives a little bit of a nod, kind of a salute as they go through the crossover now through the bank corner. I don't think Howerton's got enough here. Fox defends the inside line. He's going to hold it. Howerton can't set him up for it. And I think if Fox can defend that final hairpin, that might be it. Howerton knows it's coming. He knows it's on the defensive. Tries for a crossover in the entry. It might be a photo finish. He's looking wide. He's got to pinch it down low. Across the stripe, across the line. Fox has it. Eli Fox by 0.091 takes the win over Jared Howerton. McCorkadale comes home P3. Heber in P4, Braden Johnson in the 5th position. So that'll round out your top 5, and that'll do it for 206 senior medium. Up next, it is your 206 juniors set to go live here on Kart Chaser from Whiteland Raceway Park. And welcome back as we are underway with your 206 Junior, as we are well underway with the top three right now. Looking to be very spaced out, actually. 1.2 seconds is what Isaiah Maxey already has over the entire field. He's got almost a quarter of the straightaway on that backstretch before you get to the sea of new gen entries right now. Gabriel Payne, P2. Lucian Laser, P3, Maddox Hooper, P4, and then get Joseph Vignette in P5. So it is New Gen 2, 3, and 4, and right now it is being led by Isaiah Maxey out in front. He has done purple lap after purple lap. 48.737 is the fastest lap he has so far, and he goes a little bit faster last time too. 47.23. That was taken though. Fastest lap now to Joseph Vignette, the caboose of that four-pack right now with a 48.529. So Vignette is looking at the three teammates going back and forth, and he's actually now trying to play a little antagonist as he is trying to push, it looks like, Maddox Hooper to the front of that field, which will benefit him. If he can keep these three battling back and forth, might be able to capitalize off of it and get three passes done in one go if he plays it smart. Meanwhile, Isaiah Maxey, he is loving the passing that's going on back and forth in the battling. He is now 1.2 seconds ahead of, I believe that is Lucian Laser, who is up into P1 right now. That is kart number 8, Lucian Laser, up into P2 right now, and he's tapping the back of his helmet to his teammates saying, hey, let's work together and go forward. Although I don't think Payne or Hooper have that in mind, because it looked for a moment like Hooper had to look to the inside line there of Payne. And still in the back of that field, Joseph Vignette, the fastest kart on field, still turning faster times. The three out in front is going to go 3 wide into turn number 3 now, as they're still just shuffling back and forth there with Vignette just sitting back and kind of just biding his time and waiting right now in that 5th position. And again, there's the gap. There's your leader going by on the right-hand side of your screen. That's Isaiah Maxey out in front. Then you get the 4 karts running in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively, with being led right now by Lucian Laser out in front on that new gen Haas chassis. Then you get to Hooper, Payne, and Vignette in that blue and green kart running in the 5th spot. Looking at about 4 minutes to go plus 2 laps. Last time by, looks like the only kart that was somewhat close to Isaiah Maxey's time was Joseph Vignette. Isaiah Maxey went a 48.554, and now he's trying to put the pressure on to Maddox Hooper right now for another spot gain. He likes to set him up there coming out of turn 2 and try to roll that outside line, but it just doesn't work for him because he loses it into turn 3. He does get a better run down that back straightaway. However, Hooper gets a position on him, and he's not able to just hold that outside line. All the while, Lucian Laser under pressure right now from Gabriel Payne in that 3rd position. They're still going to go door to door. Now here comes Hooper. He says, you know what? I don't have a teammate behind me. You can take that pressure from Vignette right now. I know he's fast. I just want to put more of a buffer between myself and him. And right now, the 019 of Maddox Hooper up one more spot. Gabriel Payne falls back into P number 4, and looks like Vignette still trying to see if he can't work his way around just one at a time. He's trying to set him up here, trying to roll that outside line. It's going to be set up for the inside if he can keep that spot. No, he gets a little bit more momentum into turn 3. Let's see if he tries to wait and hit that crossover. He gets the run. Does he look low? Straight to the back bumper. Vignette goes to Gabriel Payne in the 4th spot. There's Isaiah Maxey heading over to the south side hairpin on their screen. Then you get to Lucian Laser, Maddox Hooper going into the south side hairpin that follows. So we're looking now at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Still yet to go here, plus 2 laps, as there's Maxey right there, and then you're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen, that is Lucian Laser in the 2nd position. Right behind him is Maddox Hooper, who was sitting back there trying to battle it out for the 4th spot. Thought, you know what, my services might be better if I try to work with my teammate to possibly reel in Isaiah Maxey. I don't think that's going to happen. Last time by, Isaiah Maxey won a 48.4, Lucian Laser 49.0, and Maddox Hooper 48.8 as well. 3-second deficit is a lot to make up here with about 2 minutes to go plus 2 laps. So we're looking somewhere around 4 to 5 more laps to go in total. Through the bank corner, that is Laser, followed by Hooper, running in the 2nd and 3rd spot. And it looked like just off camera that Vignette was able to pick up one more spot. So Vignette now goes to P4, Payne back into P5. And I'm curious to see if Vignette is going to be able to set sail away from Payne and close back up to the battle here for the 2nd position between Hooper and Laser, this time across the board. his time's going to stagnate just a little bit because he made that pass for the lead, and it does. Right now he's sitting at a 49.8, so next time by will be a good indication. And right now a visual one. He has made up about 3 kart lengths so far of Gabriel Payne, who's now back into the 4th spot. So there's a battle between 2nd and 3rd. That is Lewis Laser P2, Maddox Hooper in the 3rd position. That's 019 pushing over the crossover now into Daytona Corner. Vignette just off camera in that backside. There he is right there, already making up 3 or 4 kart lengths on that main pack. So this time we'll get a good indication of what times he can do by himself. And he just might be able to close back up if the 2 teammates decide to battle back and forth. Although we are under a minute to go as of now, so I don't think time is in the favor of Joseph Vignette. He may have to just settle in for that 4th spot, as here comes a pass on the 10th, I should say, on the inside there from the 19 of Maddox Hooper. Thought about it. He forced Lewis Laser to go on the defensive on the exit of turn 2, so he's just trying to play mind games right now, seeing if he can't bobble the momentum of Laser and make up 1 more spot to get to that 2nd step of the podium. Out of turn 3, there's still nose to tail, and you get a little bit farther back at Joseph Vignette last time by. Well, he's running close lap times, so not anything significantly faster. So I think it's going to be all on the wayside, and we're going to have to focus on the battle between Lewis Laser and Maddox Hooper. Meanwhile, I can't say enough about this dominant run that Isaiah Max has had so far. He's trying to do another sweep of the weekend. Pole position, heat race win, and feature. All a possibility right now with 2 sticks up in the air. How about that for a turn run here for Isaiah Max? He was able to do it. First time back in the seat in quite some time, and he'll be able to do a triple crown and a sweep of the weekend here for 206 Junior. Meanwhile, just off camera, Lewis Laser, I think at turn 1, fell back into the 3rd spot. So now count Hooper up into P2. So they're both on the podium as of now. And I think if they play it smart here, they're still going to be up on the podium as there's 2 laps to go. There's still plenty of time between themselves and Joseph Vignette, who is running in that 4th position. Vignette, I mean, he's running comparable times, not anything significantly faster, but still very quick times indeed compared to everyone out on the track. Nothing compared to the young man about to take the white flag this time by Isaiah Maxey through the final corner and down towards the start-finish straightaway, heading over into turn 1. Let's follow him all the way around this final lap. He sends it down into turn 1 for the final time. Late apex there, gets a wheel up on the curb, rolling it beautifully now over into turn 2. He is driving that Eagle chassis, or sorry, I believe that may be a Top Kart chassis. That is an Eagle. He is driving that Eagle hard right now on the exit of turn 3, down the back straightaway, over through the chicane, or that quick little crossover for the final time. Now through Daytona Corner, heading to the south side hairpin. Isaiah Maxey's got 3 more corners to go. Up the hill for the final time, caressing the hill and coming down to that inner hairpin. Keep it clean here, Isaiah, and you're going to take a win home today. Down to the inner hairpin, up to the final 2 corners, down towards the start-finish straightaway. Isaiah Maxey on his return takes the win here today at 206 Junior. And side by side across the line, how about that for Lewis Laser? Wow! Out of the final corner, pulled straight up to the outside line and said, Maddox, I'm going to see your 2nd place and take it back from you. One heck of a run here for Lewis Laser, able to take the 2nd step of the podium. Maddox Hooper comes across in P3, and Joseph Vignette P4. Gabriel Payne rounding out the field in 5th. How about that for a 206 Junior final? Up next, your 206 Masters, the 2nd to last race, set to take place next here live on Kart Chasers. You're watching from Whiteland Raceway Park. And we're about to go green here for your 2:06 Master Final. Heading down into turn number 1. It is the Adam Dietz and Matt Geist show as they're starting up on the front. Now down out of turn number 1. It looks like it is Matt Geist going to pull away here so far. Adam Dietz slotted into P number 2, and Troy Tony is going to go door to door. I believe that was with Brian Williams for a moment, but now they're going to stay nose to tail going down towards the crossover now into the Banks corner, and it looks like Matt Geist will lead the way so far as Brian Williams is trying to close in on his teammates, give him a little bit of a push to keep up with Dietz in P2 right now, but it looks like Troy Tony may not even need that. He goes straight to the back bumper of Dietz, now up the hill and down into the inner hairpin. So Dietz right now holding off that second position right now from Troy Tony, sitting there in P3, just behind him. Brian Williams not too far back. Brian Williams had a good weekend so far, or a good day I should say so far. He has been up towards the front, even led a couple laps here in the heat race, finds himself back in that fourth position. He might be able to play the long game here and just sit and wait and hope to get up a couple more positions. But right now, I think the win might be out of the question unless your name is Matt Geist, because lap number 1's in, over a second lead already. And that second group, they're playing patient right now. They're kind of working together, but I think 1 or 2 passes and it is all to the wayside if you are up in that front group. So they're working their way out of the south side hairpin now. Troy Tony seems content now, pushing the back bumper of Adam Dietz in that second spot. Again, Dietz is a privateer, Matt Geist is a privateer, Troy Tony on a new gen, as well as Brian Williams on the new gen team as well. So they are all nose to tail down that front straightaway heading into turn number 1. And I do believe no passes are made. Take that back. Troy Tony makes up 1 spot. The gap still sitting at about a second. It was 0.8. Now it's about 1 second flat between Troy Tony and Adam Dietz. And I think it's going to stagnate here just a little bit unless Troy Tony can pull something out of the top hat and Adam Dietz can get to his back bumper. Troy Tony tap the back of his helmet saying, give me a little bit of a push. I need some assistance here going into the bank corner. Adam Dietz just not there to give it to him. Brian Williams, though, he can give some assistance to Adam Dietz. That might be able to do a train effect, as we like to call it, where you just push each other in one long train. The caboose is kind of the one that can make or break that right now. It looks like the caboose is Michael Schaefer there running in the 5th spot. He's watching all this, not quite close enough to give any assistance, but he's kind of just sitting back and watching so far as the field goes on. Still about a second, 1 second flat exactly between Troy Tony and Matt Geist as Troy Tony last lap went purple. 48.317 area code to Matt Geist, 48.510. And Troy Tony slowly starting to pull away from Adam Dietz now, heading over into that crossover followed by the Daytona Banks corner, and Brian Williams all over the back bumper of Dietz right now, heading into the south side hairpin. Up the hill they go. How about that? Troy Tony making up a little bit of time. Last time by, it was about a second deficit. But I think if you look at the statistics between these two all weekend long, it looked like Matt Geist is set up for the latter half of the race and Troy Tony is set up for the front half. I don't know if it's tire pressures or gearing or what, but it seems like Troy Tony comes on strong in the first half of the race, and then Matt Geist is just able to outlast and pull away. I think he goes out on really low tire pressures, and that's why he's able to get a good run towards the better half of the end of the race. Right now, Troy Tony, 47.980, Matt Geist, 48.411 so far. Going down over to the crossover they go. Through the crossover now into the Banks corner. And how about that? Troy Tony closing in on the back bumper of Matt Geist into the south side hairpin. About a car length and a half separates him going up the hill now. And I think Troy Tony might be able to make a move here in maybe this lap or next lap. I think it might have to be the next one, as he is now up to the back bumper coming up the hill. And now that gap is starting to form. It's a 2x2 pack towards the start-finish straight. Matt Geist out in front. P2 of Troy Tony. Troy Tony sitting at a 48.0. Matt Geist won his personal best of a 48.3. So Troy Tony might try to go aggressive here and just hold Matt Geist at bay. They're sitting at about 4 minutes and 40-some seconds still yet to go. Down they go into turn 3. Can Troy Tony get it here? Gets an okay run, not a mega run, coming out of that last corner over into the quick crossover, bank corner to follow. Does Troy Tony take it? He's got the potential. Last second, no, but he is right there on the back bumper. It's probably the first time in a while that Matt Geist has actually felt pressure from someone from behind, because normally he's the one that's pulling away from the field. Troy Tony, I think, has got that thing figured out, and he's set up now to put on a good show for us. Down towards the back straightaway. Nose to tail they go into turn number 1. difference is about 1, almost 2/10 between the two of them as they make their way through turn number 1, heading over into turn number 2. Now, I'm actually going to make my way down to the grid area with these next 4 minutes. I'm going to do a couple of interviews with Grid Walk for the KA100 senior class. So we're going to go a little bit silent on the radio. When I come back, we're going to talk to some of our KA100 senior drivers. All right, so I'm down here on grid, Augusto Sarapa. You start off in the back of that heat race, drove your way all the way up to the front. First off, tell us how you did that mega drive, and second off, tell us how you're going to make your way even farther up today.
Yeah, so I'm here with my buddy Hudson, so just trying to help him out on the track. That's why I started in the back, but just got a good chassis and put a good race together, and now we'll see what happens. I mean, the first 4 are running pretty fast, so it won't be as easy.
I was going to ask you about that. So last year, beginning of this year, it seemed like you just dominated the field. You'd show up, automatic win for you. Now it seems like you got more competition. Personally, as you, do you enjoy that, or do you like being able to just walk away in the field?
No, for sure. I like the competition. I mean, that's also a reason I started in the back, just to practice the racecraft a little bit. But I'm still feeling confident. I think we walk away with the win.
All right, there it is, Augusto Sarapa. He's going to start up in the front 2 rows here for Top Kart USA. We're going to take it back onto the on-track view. We're going to bring some more guys up here in a second. All right, down here on grid, Carson Sauter, your pole setter this afternoon for your K100 senior class. First off, tell us about your year so far, because you used to be the kid who was up towards that front half of the field. It seems like you finally made that push to get in the front half now overall.
Yeah, so this year I started the championship series or 2 weeks ago. Coming out here, be out here all year, working my way up front. Started off rough here, finishing like pack. But yeah, I'm ready to get a win and get this year rolling.
Now, I was talking to Augusto Sarapa earlier. He started towards the back of the field. He's starting to make his way up towards the front. Overall, it seems like the top 4, you, AJ Ludd, Jackson Deal, and Augusto have been just absolutely locked as far as lap times go. Coming into this one right now, what's your theory? What's your mindset behind it starting to pull position?
You know, just hopefully get away at the start and just put down consistent laps and just put my head down and just do good and get the win.
Anyone you want to thank before we send you back?
I want to thank my mom, and my mechanic Gavin Griffin for helping me out. And yeah.
There it is. That's your pole sitter right here. As Carson Sauter on pole position on the Factory Fury GP Kart USA. Thank you, Carson. All right, I'm down here. Austin Olds. Now, Austin, normally see you in the driver's seat. Seems like now you're going towards a more professional role as a driver coach. I was talking to your team earlier. They said that you've been the master coach all weekend long, coaching some kiddos to lock out the top 4 in earlier classes today. So tell us, 1, how they all did, and 2, how you got that to happen.
Really, they've all been running the club series the whole year and most of the last year, so they all know their way pretty much around this track. I just had to help them with a few of the basics around changing the layout and whatnot. So just helping them find the line on changing it throughout week to week. That's the toughest part. But I mean, they all seem to pick it up really fast, and it's great.
Now tell us, you personally, do you find yourself going to be back in the seat more this year? Are you doing more national stuff? Are you going to come back to club stuff? What's your plan?
I plan on doing a few more club races later in the year. I'm focused on going to USPKS next week at Track House in North Carolina, and then running most of the national series. We'll see from there.
There it is. That's Austin Olds. Now the driver's seat. We're playing a huge factor here for the MPG and Kart Republic guys. Austin, thank you so much for your time. And I believe the checkered flag has come out for your 206 Masters event, which means we're about to get going with your final event of the day, your KA100 Seniors and Masters, going live here shortly, so stay tuned.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're going to need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rib protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
And the engines have fired for the last race of the day. Your KA100 Seniors and Masters set to go live here. Talked down grid a couple of drivers to talk to Augusto Sharapa, the big mover, who voluntarily went to the back of the heat race to say he wanted to work on his racecraft. We talked to your pole sitter, Carson Sauter, the first time he has been up towards the front of the field leading to the green flag. And this class, I believe, 15 karts deep. The top 4 almost locked, identical in lap times. So, when they come across the line, we're going to give you a rundown of everyone who's set to start here this afternoon. Your pole sitter goes to Carson Sauter on that GP Kart Factory Fury USA entry. AJ Ludd on the Top Kart USA entry will start in P number 2. His teammate, Augusto Sharapa, another Top Kart USA entry in P number 3. Jackson Deal, the highest placing MPG Kart Republic, finds himself in P4. Hudson Porter, another Top Kart USA entry in P number 5. Braden Johnson, running on a Tony Kart under the AMAX Racing 10, finds himself in P6. Braden Rudder, the privateer on a Tony Kart in P7. Lane Gibbs, MPG Kart Republic, finds himself in P8. Brandon McIntosh, privateer on a Tony Kart in P9. Michael Gundoff is back in his seat again on a Best Kart running here in P10. Cami Pfister, I believe on a Tony Kart, finds herself in 11th. Michael Winston, P12. Casey Perry, P13. Blake Findley, 14th. Joshua Nelson rounds out the field in 15th spot. The feature event is about to get underway. This is probably going to be the biggest and most exciting race that we have. Down into the tram lines. Your top two go down to the green. Carson Sauter and A.J. Ludd lead him down to the line. Green flag is out into turn one, and it looks like an outside jump from your second placeman, A.J. Ludd. Carson Sauter says, "You sure about that one?" As we have one off over into turn two. That's Brandon McIntosh coming to a stop. Meanwhile, your leaders down the back straightaway. A huge jump now for A.J. Ludd out in front, holding on to about a 3 or 4 car length advantage over now your second placeman of Carson Sauter. Here comes Augusto Sato Sharapa. He tried for the crossover move, went to the bottom side of the track, all the way up to the top to arc it into the south side hairpin. Finds himself in P number 3, Jackson Deal, still in the 4th spot. Up the hill they go through the 2 double lefts, down towards the main straightaway to complete lap number 1. A.J. Ludd leads the way into turn number 1 on lap number 1. Yellow flag is out for that incident that happened with, I believe that was McIntosh, Brandon McIntosh in Kart 14 over in turn number 2. But right now, here comes Augusto Sato Sharapa after qualifying towards the front, on pole I should say, voluntarily went to the back of the heat, trying to do a last to first jump right now. He's in 3rd, locked onto the back bumper of Carson Sauter on that GP Kart Factory Fury entry, heading into the south side hairpin. A.J. Ludd on the Top Kart USA entry, climbing the hill on point as the top 3 start to close back up. It's a sea of blue with 2 different manufacturers. Top Kart 1-3, GP Kart USA sits P2. Just off in 4th of Jackson Deal on the MPG Kart Republic is roughly, I think, about 1 second back from the top 3. Augusto Sato Sharapa is not making Carson Sauter's life easy at all. He is all over the back bumper, almost giving him a push sometimes. The gap right now about 3/10 between A.J. Ludd and Carson Sauter's. Carson Sauter's currently purple right now with the 43.207. Fastest time for A.J. Ludd last time was a 43.275, although here goes Augusto Sato Sharapa for second, up on the inside in the south side hairpin. He's up to P number 2. Carson Sauter falls back into 3rd. As of now, it's a top cart lockout 1-2. A.J. Ludd and Augusto Sato Sharapa down towards turn number 1. Augusto pulling out just a little bit of an advantage over Carson Sauter for 3rd, but he's staying right there. There's a good pass for the 5th spot, I believe. That is between Brayton Johnson and Hudson Porter. Porter had his elbows out, trying to get around Johnson. Johnson defended it, and he's going to now hold on to that 5th position on that AMAX Tony Kart heading down the backstretch into turn number 4. Through the crossover they go, now towards the back straightaway. Starting to settle in here for your top contenders. A.J. Ludd, last time by, went a 42.770. Augusto Sato Sharapa went a 42.729. So the top carts almost nose to tail. Augusto Sato Sharapa on the back bumper of Ludd into turn 1. Not close enough to make a move, about a kart length or 2 behind. But look for him the next 3 or 4 laps, possibly to close the gap back up. Out of turn number 1 they go, heading up for turn 2. Augusto closing that gap visually on camera right now as they snake it over into turn 3 down this back straightaway. Half a kart length separates them. Probably not going to happen into the crossover corner. Might happen in the south side hairpin. We have 1 kart stopped on the exit of turn number 2. As let's see if we can't switch back over the leaders here right now. A.J. Ludd is going to have to defend over Augusto Sato Sharapa. If you are Carson Sauter in that 3rd position, you're hoping right now that A.J. Ludd goes on the defensive here and holds him back up. Augusto took a peek back to see how close A.J. was. About 4 car lengths is the difference, roughly about half a second separates the 2nd and 3rd. Heading into turn number 3 now. A.J. Ludd still on point. The driver in the Top Kart USA entry coming out of turn number 3, heading down the backstretch. Augusto Sato Sharapa right there in his wake, enjoying that tow through the crossover corner. Now out of the Daytona, heading into the south side hairpin. Augusto not close enough to make a move there. However, A.J. Ludd's going to have his hands full defending. Make his way up the hill, now into the inner hairpin. They go a little bit airborne as they go over the crest of the hill and get 0 Gs before they come back down hard on the brakes to that inside hairpin. Down the front straightaway they go towards turn number 1. Top 3 still somewhat nose to tail. Battle for 4th is still Jackson Deal. A little bit of a break. I think it's a Brayton Johnson, Lane Gibbs, Hudson Porter, pretty close together. As we have 2 off the track. Looks like the 62 of, I believe that's Michael Gundoff on the best kart. He's in the pits. Kart number 21 of Joshua Nelson was turned around facing the wrong way in the final corner. He's underway under his own power, but unfortunate event to see there from Michael Gundoff, who was battling up towards the front half of the field, now finds himself and towards the end right now. top two still nose to tail. AJ Ludd, Augusto Sada-Sharapa working at 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go at the line. So we are just over halfway, still plenty of time for racing. And it looks like Augusto is just content sitting here in the second position. Looks like he's giving a little bit of a push there to AJ when he needs it. However, last time by, Carson Sauter went purple, 42.282 over AJ Ludd's best time of a 42.318. So Carson, he may be off the pace just a little bit. He's still got some pace in that kart, and only downside for him, he doesn't have any allies up in the front. He got 2 teammates in front of him. He's got himself, the only GP kart on field, and then he gets to Jackson Deal, the only MPG kart, I believe, inside the top 5. We got Lane Gibbs right there in 6th. But again, 2 drivers without many teammates. They can run up towards the front of the field. Both of them can. But just unfortunate events how the race has played out so far. But these 2 top karts out in front, man, have they been dominant. AJ Ludd has been up towards the front of the field all day long. Augusto Sada-Sharapa, he started towards the back of the field to see if he could work on his racecraft. Now he finds himself contending for the lead right now, coming out of turn number 3. After Augusto qualified on pole, he was the fastest kart, like I said before, voluntarily went to the tail of the field. Under 3 minutes to go now as your leaders make their way into the south side hairpin. There's the top 2, and then you get to the third placement right there of Carson Sauter. About 0.6 of a second back he is from Augusto Sada-Sharapa, your second placement, about 0.8 back from AJ Ludd out in front. Down the main straightaway, Augusto looks back to see he's got a little bit of breathing room, and he backs off just a little bit, and I think we're going to see what he did qualifying. He saved his tires for a lap and then pushed it like no other to make up one more position. I think he's going to do that now. He's backing off just a little bit to save, I think he's trying to save his tires right now on AJ, and he's probably going to try to push it hard next time by. AJ Ludd with the fastest lap last lap, 42.159 for your leader out in front. Augusto's last lap, 42.256, almost identical, and it looks like right there, Augusto cranked it back up out of that final hairpin, went straight to the back bumper of AJ Ludd. Through the inner hairpin and up through the final 2 left-handers. To burn one more lap. They are 10 laps in, under 2 minutes to go at the stripe. AJ Ludd's got to hold on a little bit longer, roughly about 6 more laps until he can try to take the one here this afternoon. Augusto, he might be trying to play teammate and just push AJ farther and farther away from Carson Sauter running there in the third position, but whatever they're doing, it's working for them. They're roughly sitting now at about 0.8 of a second lead over Carson Sauter in that third spot. There they all 3 go through that crossover. There's Jackson Deal on the backhand side of your screen. Haven't talked about him a whole lot on that MPG Kart Republic entry. He's sitting kind of in no man's land. He's not quite close enough to Carson Sauter to get a tow from him. However, he has a massive gap between himself and Braden Johnson, who's running in that 5th position. Down towards the start-finish straight, heading into turn number 1. A minute to go here into turn 1, plus 2 laps. So I think we're going to get 4 laps to go here, as there goes Augusto. Had a look to the inside. Carson Sauter's been waiting for this one. He wants him to go back and forth, and he wants AJ to make Augusto's life a little bit more difficult, so he has a chance to reel him back in. Augusto knows it. He took a peek back. He might wait a little bit longer until he sees double sticks in the air to make his move as they make their way out of Daytona Corner, heading into the south side hairpin. The climb out of the hairpin and now the climb up the hill. Does Augusto try to take it here on the inside line? Let's see if we can't take a peek back at your leaders. There they are, making their way up the hill now. AJ on point. Augusto sitting there in P2. Down towards the start-finish straight. The 2 top karts are going to stay in line heading into turn number 1. Looks like Augusto doesn't take a peek here, but he likes to send it a little bit late on the exit of 2. Not going to do it. So Augusto backs it off a lap. I think he's trying to, again, save his tires. He also doesn't want to start taking up time and allow Carson Sauter to close back up to him. Carson sitting about a second back from the top 2. As they make their way now, and oh, how about that? Augusto got a wheel up on the curb and just glided over it as he goes straight to the back bumper of AJ Ludd. I think he's starting to get a little impatient. He's trying to make his move, but there's not a gap that's clear as day open for him. AJ's doing a good job of staying consistent and making Augusto's life difficult. Augusto's got the draft, maybe a little bit more speed as 2 laps are shown this time by, but he just doesn't have the position on the track to get it done. AJ plays smart as he opens up the door. Now he's going the inside line. Here goes Augusto on the outside. Does he try for the crossover move? Goes straight to the back bumper onto AJ Ludd. AJ holds on to position. Meanwhile, 2 laps to go. Carson Sauter sitting about 1.1 second back from your leaders, so he's not quite close enough to be in the cap bird seat. He's going to have to hope these top 2 do something a little bit more. As here comes Augusto on the inside line. AJ tries for the crossover move. Augusto to point. Does AJ try to take it back immediately into the inner hairpin? Augusto defends. And it looked like AJ Ludd took it on the racing line. He can try it down here into one. He's going to have the toe. He's going to have to do something soon. White flag in the air. Augusto looks, goes to defend. AJ goes straight to the outside line. Tries to get the crossover move. Augusto swings out wide. So does AJ Ludd. And he closes back up to him out of 2. Heading into 3. Does Augusto leave the door open? Kind of, but AJ doesn't take it. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Heading over into that quick little bus stop chicane, if you were to speak. Down through Daytona corner. This is the second last attempt that he has. AJ's not close enough here. Is he close enough in the inner hairpin? Here comes Carson Sauter, closing down on the gap. One more chance here. AJ can't get it done. Augusto Sauter Sharapa up to the final corners is going to see the checkered flag. How about that? I'm sure Blake Deekster is over the moon right now. A 1-2 lockout for Top Kart USA. Augusto Sauter Sharapa from last to first in the heat takes the win. AJ Ludd from starting at P2 holds on to P2. A Top Kart 1-2. Carson Sauter comes home in P3 with the GP Kart Factory Fury USA. Jackson Deal finishing in 4th after starting in 4th on the MPG Kart Republic, joined by his teammate inside the top 5 of Lane Gibbs on an MPG as well. Rest of the field goes Hudson Porter, Blake Finley, Cammy Pfister, Braden Johnson, Joshua Nelson, Michael Winston, Michael Gundoff, and Casey Perry rounds out the rest of the field. How about that for your KA100 Senior and Master event? And that will be the last feature race that we have of the day. Here's the replay here of Augusto taking that outside line to prevent a crossover move here to take the checkered flag, and a smart race all together for your top, actually everyone in this field so far, especially inside the top 5. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching with us today. We appreciate all the support you guys have given. We want to thank you guys again too for if you came out and raced here this Mother's Day weekend. Thank you to all the mothers who allowed their families to come out here and race with us today. We know that your guys' day is tomorrow, but hey, your whole weekend is all about you guys. So thank you to everyone who came out again too. We'll see you guys here next month, and we hope you guys the best. So thank you for tuning in, and again, make sure you become a Kart Chaser, stay a Kart Chaser Premium member, so you can watch not only these feature races, but all the other feature races as well. Thank you guys for joining again. Stay tuned and race on.
We're at a commercial break.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.